yesterday, deep to receive for LSU. And that one will not have a return as Doucette takes the knee. Tigers will take over 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line as they will try to do what they do best on their opening series this year.
Well, you know, they've scored 8 out of 10 times on their opening series, and we'll see if that holds true here. But they scored the first 3 possessions against Alabama last week en route to 418 yards total offense. So we'll see how JaMarkus Russell and the Tigers adapt here.
You see Russell's numbers, completing almost 71% of his passes this season, and we'll try to get a statistic up there of how well he's played in Tiger Stadium this year. Russell with plenty of time. Pass is complete to the tight end. That's Dixon. And Dixon is tackled basically no gain on the play as Dustin Mouzon makes the tackle. Let's set the stage for you. Hester, Jordan, Davis, Bowe are the receivers, and Dixon, who just made the grab, getting the start at tight end. Black, Johnson, Helms, Johnson, and Diakowski, the Canadian, one of those 22 seniors, making his last start in Tiger Stadium tonight. And of course, Russell at quarterback for LSU. 2nd and 10 after no gain.
Ole Miss going to a nickel package. And just a short gain, the 6th catch of the season for Dixon.
One of the keys, obviously, for Ole Miss is to get some pressure, and that is Broussard on the carry on Russell here tonight. And that is something they have not had a lot of success doing this year. Vincent, basically, back to the line of scrimmage. Take a look at the defense for Ole Miss. Hardy, the freshman, getting the start at the defensive end. Jerry, Garrett, and Tillman over on the right side. Johnson and Willis, the starting senior linebacker, and then the defensive backfield, Mouzon, Brown, Clark, and McBride.
You know, you have a pair of starting defensive ends and a freshman. Marcus Tillman committed to the LSU Tigers. Last minute signing date, changed his mind to the Rebels, but he'll start at one of the defensive ends.
Russell with plenty of time on 3rd and 10, wings it downfield. That is LaFell, and he is out of bounds and unable to make that grab. So a rare 3 and out for the Tigers here tonight, but it will bring up a punting situation.
And Ole Miss doesn't get a lot of pressure. They are bottom of the barrel in the SEC with only 10 sacks on the season. But JaMarkus certainly had the time, his decision, but he just threw it out of the field to play. 4th down, and Ole Miss may come up with pretty good field position following this punt.
Chris Jackson standing back on his own 5-yard line to punt. And some movement on the defensive line for Ole Miss, but the Tigers are applauding as the penalty flag is thrown, and we'll see which way this one goes.
She'll go against Ole Miss. It won't make a
dead
difference.
ball, offsides, 85 in the defense, entered the neutral zone, made contact with the offense. 5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
So that brings Jackson 5 yards closer.
Robert Hoff, a reserve tight end, jumped off sides, but LSU was still punting away, and will give Chris Jackson maybe 5 more yards on his punt.
And Jackson, under some pressure, gets off a low punt, but it'll be caught at the 32-yard line. And that is Marshae Green, who is taken down. And a great special teams effort. Jacob Cotrera, who's getting a start at middle linebacker tonight, makes the tackle on special teams. We'll be back. Ole Miss with its first offensive possession. We're coming your way from Tiger Stadium. We'll be back after we take this network break. And the Tiger faithful out on a cool night. No score early on. Ole Miss getting ready for its first offensive possession. Brent Schaefer, 6 and 7 as the starting quarterback. The junior steps in. Young man who started his career at the University of Tennessee. Transferred to the College of Sequoia, set 11 school records there. Rated the #1 junior college quarterback in the nation. Here he is, but Renee, he has struggled at Ole Miss.
He has, and he's got a lot of pressure. He played in 7 games, starting 3 in 2004 for the Vols.
Ben Jarvis Green Ellis gets the carry, and offensively for Ole Miss, that is going to be a huge, huge key for them to have success here tonight. First, let's set the stage for you offensively. Ellis, and then the fullback is Cook, Wallace, and McSwain getting the start at flanker. Lilly, the tight end, or Wicker, the senior, Actis, Jerry, and Miller, the big guys across the front. 2nd and 4 after Green Ellis gets a gain of 6. And a little confusion offensively as this Tiger Stadium crowd making itself very vocal. Schaefer on the keeper, and he gets maybe a yard out of the deal, forced to scramble under the heavy rush by LSU.
And it came with a blitz, Doug, but they still got him anyway. He escaped.
Defensively, Tyson Jackson, who's this week's SEC Defensive Lineman of the Week. Dorsey, Favorite, and Pittman. Highsmith, Cotrera making the start at middle linebacker Luke Sanders. And then Zenon, Landry, Daniels, and Jackson. And of course, we talked about Landry making his 45th consecutive start. 3rd and 3 from their own 38-yard line. Green Ellis, and he will be stuffed at about the 40-yard line. Ali Highsmith in, amongst others, to make that defensive stop.
You know, the thing is, LSU has had a lot of success this year, and you know, you think of Nick Saban in the earlier 2003, 2004, blitzed a lot. LSU still does blitz, Doug, but they've had more success with the front four with a good push up front. They don't slant and stunt as much as they used to. Glenn Dorsey spoke with him this week, and they said they pretty much play basic with the front four and get more pressure. 32 sacks, most in the SEC.
Rob Park on to punt for the Rebels of Ole Miss, averaging a little over 39, and we've got ourselves a little trickery, and it looks like Ole Miss has come up with the first down. Catching the Tigers by total surprise. That was Dustin Muzon. And how about that, Renee? A little trickery and taking a huge risk, but then again, what does Ole Miss really have at stake?
Well, they're going to try things like this, and you know, I would suspect, I wouldn't have been surprised if they had an onside kick to begin this game. You know, when you have the record that Ole Miss has right now, 3-7, they're not going to a bowl game. This will be their bowl game. They have one more game against Mississippi State, so everything goes tonight off the charts.
So 1st and 10 from their own 43. Schaefer, and he'll pass, and that one's going to be incomplete. As nice defensive effort, Mike Wallace, the intended receiver, the young man out of O. Perry Walker High School in New Orleans.
I think you have to watch Wallace. They'll go to him. He is the leading receiver, 19 grabs, 337 yards. He's got 4.3 speed. He'll stretch that offense, and he's a young guy. He's signed with Oregon State, Doug, but sat out and moved over to Ole Miss, and they really love him. Got a great future.
Take a look at the first quarter dominance by LSU, outscoring their opponents 115-14 in the first quarter this season. They've given up just 7 points in the first quarter in Tiger Stadium. Wallace again the intended, and that pass is incomplete. Interesting about Ole Miss's offense, Renee, not a single receiver has more than 19 catches.
Yeah, and you know, he because of the pressure. Watch, Luke Sanders is going to mess this up. He gets right in his face quickly, and Schaefer knew he had to deliver the ball quickly. Did not have time to set up, so he didn't deliver and didn't step in. In fact, he was falling back because of the pressure that Luke Sanders brought with him. And, you know, this is the kind of problems that Ole Miss has had. You know, after this play, I want to explain how youthful Ole Miss really is.
Good look at Tyson Jackson, the SEC Defensive Player of the Week. A big performance against Alabama on Saturday. The Tigers blitzing. Landry in on the blitz. Schaefer is popped as he lets go of the ball, but the pass complete to Wallace, and he has the first down. But then it may have come loose. Some of the players, I see Luke Sanders down there indicating that the Tigers should have the football. But I think it's just going to be an Ole Miss first down. And wow, did Schaefer take a pop as he let go of that football.
Chase Pittman was amongst them, the guys who delivered a blow. And boy, Schaefer knew it was coming. He delivered the throw. He stands tall right here. It's coming from the backside. Can't see it. But watch this. LaRon Landry, Glenn Dorsey, and Chase Pittman, among others. But it was a nice throw. He was covered in a zone cut situation among 3 white jerseys. Schaefer, give him credit, delivered the ball.
A gain of 18 on the play. 1st and 10 from LSU's 38. Ellis on the pitch. And Ellis is dragged backward and still on his feet, but that play whistled dead. Tyson Jackson as well as Glenn Dorsey in defensively on that one. You know, interesting story about Ben Jarvis Green Ellis, young man out of St. Augustine High School in New Orleans. First began his career at the University of Indiana was recruited there by Jerry DiNardo. Then when DiNardo was fired, he transferred to Ole Miss. And he certainly had a great career. Started off with a bang at Indiana. He's played great at Ole Miss as well.
He had 938 yards, 7 touchdowns as a freshman in 2003, 794, and 5 touchdowns his sophomore year before leaving.
Highsmith blitzing for LSU. Schaefer's pass knocked down. Nice defensive play by Chevis Jackson over on the right side.
And that was great play by Chevis Jackson, keeping the free hand, his inside hand on the contact with the receiver, if you will, and he knocks it away with his left hand. Pressure from Gutierrez and company, but just, you see, he kept the, he knows where the receiver was and just kept contact with him and swatted away with his left hand. So that was just great play, individual by Chevis Jackson.
Tigers defense obviously leading the SEC in several categories, but one small chink in their armor has been their pass defense in recent weeks. Schaefer perhaps trying to take advantage of that. Under pressure again, Schaefer on the run. And he is brought down at the 41-yard line. Nice pursuit by Charles Cheese Alexander.
And Charles Alexander out of Breaux Bridge really chased him down. And LSU is about 8 to 12 deep on the defensive line, so they can bring a pair of fresh legs in. He's flushed right here, Schaefer. Glenn Dorsey is flushing, and Charles Alexander finally puts the brakes on him. He can't cut back and just breaks down, and a nice individual play by Alexander. We'll have to, the Rebels will have to punt it away.
Craig Buster Davis standing back on his own 10-yard line as he awaits the punt from Rob Park. And Park with a kind of a pooch and trying to get that one inside the 20. Well done, as that one takes a Ole Miss kick and goes out of bounds at the 5-yard line. And for Park, that is the 13th punt inside the 20-yard line for him this year. No score. Tigers getting ready to take over, as we'll be back after this local break. Welcome back to Tiger Stadium. No score. Want to remind you to watch Coach Miles dissect the game on Inside LSU Football with Les Miles, presented by Whitney Bank each week on the LSU Sports Television Network. Inside LSU Football with Les Miles, presented by Whitney Bank, airs at 10:35 p.m. on WBRZ Channel 2 in Baton Rouge. Check your local listings for the coverage of the Tigers in your area, or visit lsusports.net.
We talked a little bit about sacks. LSU is 3rd in the SEC, only allowing 13 sacks, so you know, they've done a good job as both sides of the ball, offensive and defensive line, either getting sacks or protecting their own quarterback.
Johnson and Diakowski, the Canadian, the two seniors anchoring the right side. Will be an interesting matchup as Diakowski going against the true freshman for Ole Miss, Greg Hardy, number 86, something to keep our eyes on. 1st and 10 from their own 5, and that is Vincent. And Vincent, on this senior night, getting the call. Looks like he picks up about 3 on the play.
It looks like Patrick Willis is there again for another stop. He's been pretty active thus far. You know, you talked about seniors and juniors and showed the starting lineup for Ole Miss. Ole Miss only has, Doug, 9 seniors on the entire team. Both Ole Miss and Minnesota have the least amount of seniors in the entire country. Both teams only have 9 seniors on their roster. It shows there's a lot of future, but of course, a lot of inexperience with only 9 seniors on the team this year.
After a pickup of 5, 2nd and 5 now. And once again, Vincent, and some room to the outside as he has the first down and more. Vincent out to about the 28-yard line. A nice pickup by Justin Vincent as he gains 19 on the play.
Kind of reminiscent of that play in the Georgia Dome against Georgia for the SEC Championship. Trying to get a scene for him. Right here, cuts it back and didn't quite have the same results. That was an 81-yard touchdown against Georgia in 2003, but it was a first down and a little flash of the past from Justin Vincent.
Vincent, 6 career games, 100 yards plus, the Sugar Bowl MVP back in '04, the SEC Championship game MVP when he rushed for 201 yards, and been a little bit quiet, but getting plenty of action here tonight as he tries to turn the corner and makes it up to about the 31-yard line, picks up about 2 on the play. And you can see the dominance for LSU. first in the SEC in, yes, that many categories, Renee. Their offense has been spectacular, and JaMarkus Russell has been the guy pulling the trigger for that.
And you know, they have 343 points for the entire season. They're second behind the 2003 team that went above 400, but they've done pretty well. So 343 points on the entire season. 10 games.
Second and 8. Excuse me, Renee. That is Davis makes the grab, has the first down, out to about the 43-yard line. Pickup of 12 on the play as Russell finds a receiver for the first time tonight. Second time, actually. Dixon made a catch earlier on.
And you talked about success that JaMarkus has had, Doug. He's 22-4 as a starter. He's a 3-time SEC Player of the Week, and he's got some numbers. Let me look at them.
Those are the numbers in Tiger Stadium. 80% nearly on his completion. 17 TDs, just 1 interception. And now under some pressure, Russell flings it downfield and overthrows Bo, who is the intended receiver. As sometimes Russell, too much arm strength is not a good thing, and that one sailed way over the head of Dwayne Bowe.
It was closer to Tremaine McBride, the right cornerback, number 3 for Ole Miss, than it was Dwayne Bowe, the intended receiver. Second down, but you know, JaMarkus, you talked about his numbers against Mississippi State this year. 330 yards, 3 touchdowns, 14 completions in a row, all in the first half. So he can get very, very hot. His, you know, the thing that the scouts and all like about him, he makes tough plays routinely, and you can see his mechanics have really changed since last year, really improved.
On second and 10, Russell 22-4 as a starting quarterback for LSU, and some trickery. That is Trindon Holiday, and Holiday trying to use some of that speed, makes it out to about the 47-yard line. The freshman out of Zachary, Louisiana, who has been very explosive, Renee, averaging 15 yards each time he touches the football.
Yeah, he's only got 159 yards rushing, but averages, you know, 14.5 yards per rush, 15 yards every time he catches the ball or touches the ball. But he's a 4.27 guy. He's like a little pocket rocket, you know, 5'5", 155 pounds. You can't find him, much less tackle him. So, you know, he's all over the place. Third down, 7 long yards for the Tigers. See what they'll do on third.
As Russell from the shotgun, and Ole Miss showing blitz, trying to get some pressure on Russell. He steps up, grabbed by the jersey, as tries to drag some of the Ole Miss defenders with him, makes it up to about midfield, but about 3 yards short of that first down.
Well, he's become more of a running threat. He had 71 yards rushing against Tennessee, leading rusher in the game. But second series, LSU couldn't produce any points. Chris Jackson will have to punt it away, and they'll have a little better field position this time. Tiger defense will have to step up.
Chris Jackson, the senior punter, still hopes to play baseball here in the spring as he tries to recover from that Tommy John surgery he had to have, as he stands on his own 35-yard line. And gets off a low punt. This one probably will not get a return. It'll just simply bounce. And it is downed by Willis at the 23-yard line. And that's where Ole Miss will take over. Both teams unable to put any points on the board so far. No score from Tiger Stadium. Back with more after we take this network break on Tiger Vision. No score, Tiger Stadium on this senior night when 22 seniors are playing their very last game at home for LSU. Capital One is getting rid of hassles and making banking easier with things like more ATMs and more branch locations. To experience no-hassle banking for yourself, visit a branch near you or log on to CapitalOneBank.com. Good look at Les Miles, the second-year head coach. 19-4 overall, 11-3 in SEC games. Neither team has been spectacular so far, just 10 total offensive yards for Ole Miss so far here tonight. That's Miko McSwain on the end around, and he's run out of bounds right at about the original line of scrimmage.
Mika McSwain is very versatile, plays running back, wide receiver, flanker back. Good look at Ed Orgeron, assessing the situation. You know, Ole Miss does have some good players coming back, a lot of juniors and sophomores, and they will return their quarterback, and their running back Schaefer will come back, and so will Ben Jarvis Green, so they'll have a lot to build on.
We had the opportunity to see Green Ellis play some games for St. Aug back in his high school days. Quite a story, 866 yards this season, trying to become only the 3rd player in Ole Miss history to go over 1,000 yards.
74, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
And you know the last one to do that for Ole Miss to go 1,000 plus, Renee?
The Deuster.
That's right.
Deuce McAllister from New Orleans Saints. If he averages 67 yards the next 2 games, he'll reach that plateau. So, you know, that's it's interesting.
Green Ellis, the 2nd leading rusher in the SEC, 86.6 yards per game, behind guess who? Mr. McFadden.
Yes.
On 1st and 10 after the penalty from their own 15-yard line, Green Ellis. And a lot on his shoulders here tonight.
You know, I'm a little surprised. The thing is, you want to get Schaefer is better break and contain, getting the outside. Good look right there at the numbers for Green Ellis. You know, almost 5 yards a pop and 6 touchdowns, Douglas. That's not bad.
Certainly not bad at all.
But you know, we said how Brent Schaefer has to really break contain. He was a California Community College co-player of the year. At Tennessee, we said he played 7 games, starting 3 in 2004 as a true freshman. And that hadn't been done since 1945. So, you know, starting as a true freshman at Tennessee was something that doesn't happen.
Dumps it off. And Green Ellis has some room to the left side, and he has the first down. And out to about the 38-yard line. Green Ellis doing a good job catching the ball out of the backfield, his 7th reception of the year.
That's a little shuffle pass, but he does have the, you know, he's got some explosion, goes through a gaping hole, nice blocking, good seal, allowing him to get to the outside. Jesse Daniels in pursuit, and Chevis Jackson finally puts the brakes on him, but not before the damage was done. Nice pickup. First down, Ole Miss, and a drive here as we're approaching the end of the first quarter.
22 yards on the game for Green Ellis. And Schaefer still has it as he fakes the pitch and fooled half the LSU defense as well. And he's run out of bounds at about the 44-yard line. 2:06 remaining here, opening quarter. Neither team has been spectacular, to say the least. And LSU, Renee, looks a little bit flat, in all honesty.
Well, you know, I think, you know, Ole Miss has not been doing bad. They've been blocking the plays very well, and Schaefer has broken contain a couple of times. Made a couple of nice throws, that nice completion down to Wallace that he took a hit. So he's been playing very well, and he's very erratic. He's capable of a big game and capable of a lot of mistakes and interceptions.
It was a gain of 6, 2nd and 4 from the 43. Ole Miss needs to get to about their own 47 for the first down. Schaefer whips it across to the right side, and the pass incomplete. Nice coverage down there by Zenon, as the intended receiver was Shea Hodge, a true freshman out of Morton High School in Morton, Mississippi.
Talk about a mismatch. Luke Sanders, the middle linebacker, was matched up one-on-one with Mike Wallace, and Schaefer picked up on that match. He'd have been going, you know, home run ball to Wallace, but unfortunately for the Tigers, he didn't see that.
Got a good look at Jonathan Zenon. Remember those 2 interceptions for touchdowns this year, as he has 3 interceptions on the year. Schaefer gets popped as he unloads the pass. It is complete to Wallace, but still short of the first down. And another punting situation. Although Ole Miss, who knows what tricks they might have up their sleeve again.
Mike Wallace, and you talked about he went to O. Perry Walker. He was a teammate of Buster Davis. And the funny thing about that is Buster Davis played quarterback briefly, so what a combination they were. Buster Davis, great speedster for LSU, and Mike Wallace, as we said, fastest player on the Ole Miss team. So O. Perry Walker was a dangerous team. He was coached by Frank Wilson, who's now the running backs coach at Ole Miss.
Rob Park on for his 3rd punt of the night, stands at his own 28-yard line. And they will fake it again. And the pass is incomplete. And the Tigers will have exceptional field position as they'll take over at about the 38-yard line. So what does Ed Orgeron have to lose? He's just pulling out all the stops here tonight.
Well, he's going to be a riverboat gambler. He's got nothing to lose. He's going to put a lot of pressure, as you can see, dropping back to punt. And you knew something was up here. Jesse Daniels with great pressure. And fortunately, Jacob Hester and Craig Stelz puts the little hit, make sure nobody went anywhere. Incomplete. Pass intended for Robert Hoff, and incomplete. Tigers will get good field position at the 42-yard line in Ole Miss territory.
Ed Orgeron, former assistant coach at USC, part of that program when they won those national championships in 03 and 04. 1st and 10 from the 42-yard line, and once again it's Vincent. And Vincent rambles up, a gain of about 5 on the play.
Well, you know, I don't know if a lot of people know this. Ed Orgeron signed with LSU. He was coming to LSU as a Tiger, didn't want a red shirt, so he headed up to Northwestern and played with former New Orleans St. Bobby Hebert. He was on the same team with Bobby Hebert. So Ed Orgeron, same area as Bobby, grew up together. Left LSU, went to Northwestern, was a good player there, and before he went on to Nichols coaching at Miami, University of Miami, and eventually Southern California.
Just beat his alma mater 2 weeks ago, 27-7. Ole Miss coming off an open week as they had an extra week to prepare for the Tigers. And once again, Vincent, he's up to about the 30, and that'll be good for a first down. Patrick Willis in the midst of that. Rory Johnson, the weak side linebacker for Ole Miss, in to make the tackle.
And Richard Dixon is down right now for the Tigers, a freshman tight end.
And a good time for us to take a break. The Tigers trying to put some points on the board. We'll be back to see if they can after we take this local break. And set for the start of the second quarter, the Tigers driving. And speaking of driving, if you're looking for a career change, high school seniors want a medical career without committing to years of training, you can become a medic in 3 months or an EMT paramedic in 12 months. Your new life can begin with a visit to nationalsacademy.com or call Acadian Ambulance Service at 866-459-3500.
Doug, Tigers have won 7 straight home games and 13 wins in the month of November, so they're pretty hot as we close out the home season here at Tiger Stadium.
Justin Vincent, 6 carries tonight, 35 yards. That is a season high.
Yeah, you know, he looks, he's got some flashes of the old Justin Vincent, knowing that this will be the last time the home fans will get to see number 25.
Russell throwing the first play of the second quarter. Davis with the grab down to the 7-yard line, and the Tigers are in red zone territory. Davis with his 45th catch of the year, and that one, boy, a perfect pass from Russell.
Yeah, he ran right near the seam, and you know, between the zone defense and you know, it was a nice throw by JaMarkus Russell, right in between the defenders, right where it needed to be thrown, and a nice throw for JaMarkus.
And you see the numbers for Davis. The Tigers 32 of 40, 80% in the red zone, 30 touchdowns and 2 field goals on the year in the red zone. And the pitch goes right. That's Vincent trying to turn the corner and run out of bounds after a gain of about 1 on the play.
And you see number 74, that's Brett Helms, the senior, the center, leading the way, and he has a great future here at LSU. And you see the pulling, and this is something that LSU's offensive linemen do very well. Brett Helms, good block there, clearing up, and looks like Patrick Willis is the reason that Justin Vincent didn't get into the end zone, but a nice block by Brett Helms.
You talked about Patrick Willis and injuries that he's had during his career. Few realize that his brother Dietrich passed away in August as Vincent trying to get his way up toward the goal line, a penalty flag on the play. But for Willis, his brother Dietrich drowning in a swimming pool accident, and a young man who's an outstanding football player back in their hometown of Brewston, Tennessee, and had hoped actually to even continue his football career at Ole Miss and follow in his brother's footsteps.
And you know, he's dedicated the season to his brother. And
holding, offense, 74, 10-yard penalty, still second down.
Brett Helms caught with his hand in the cookie jar there.
Well, you know, we're just talking about Brett Helms. Good block he made on the latest run by Justin Vincent. Now he comes back and gets caught for a penalty, pushes the Tigers back near the 15-yard line. Call it the 13, but JaMarkus still has a bag of tricks here. And JaMarkus with 21 touchdown tosses, just 1 behind Hodson, as you said. And Matt Mark is the leader in that category in LSU history with 28 touchdown passes in 2003.
On second and goal from the 13, Russell Now some pressure, dumps it off, tries to get it to Hester, and the pass is incomplete.
That was good coverage by Ole Miss defensively, and they came with pressure. JaMarkus did the only thing he could do, try to flip it out to Hester and try to make something of that play. It's third down. Still a good field position, but unless they do something here, it looks like Chris Jackson may be coming on for a field goal attempt as Brandon LaFell enters the game with Buster Davis. Tigers with 3 wide receivers. Make that 4 with early Doucette and Dwayne Bowe.
Tigers first in the SEC in third down conversions. As you see, better than 50% on the season. A big one for JaMarkus Russell. Plenty of time to throw into the end zone. Touchdown Tigers. Dwayne Bowe tied for the most touchdown connections in LSU history between a quarterback and a receiver, number 21 between Russell and Bowe.
And that's Bowe's 10th touchdown catch of the season. Well, I tell you what, he's what a dangerous combination that is, and Dwayne Bowe got to be happy for him. A leading receiver for the Tigers. That was his 49th grab. And you can see it's just JaMarkus, good protection. Waits till Bowe makes his break. Just a post pattern right in front of the defender. Good for a score.
And Colt David on, gets the PAT, and the Tigers are on the board. 13:55 to go here early in the second quarter. So LSU with a 7-0 lead, and we'll be back with more from Tiger Stadium after we take this network break. And JaMarkus Russell connecting with Dwayne Bowe, number 21 in the touchdown category between those two, tying them for the most all time between a quarterback and a receiver at LSU.
Thing about Dwayne Bowe, he's told me many times that no one can stop me on a post pattern. That's what the last touchdown catch was, a post pattern. He's become more of a Terrell Owens, Michael Irvin type of big receiver, 6'3", about 215, 220. He's an unstoppable, very physical type receiver and become a better blocker the last couple of years.
Jackson's kickoff is 5 yards deep in the end zone. No return there. As Miko McSwain takes the knee, Ole Miss will take over on their own 20-yard line.
Look, I got to tell you, too, I talked to Dwayne Bowe. He talks to Michael Clayton quite a bit, and Michael Clayton has helped him, kind of separate himself from the defender, shield the defenders, help him with his blocking. And also, Dwayne Bowe had laser surgery earlier, and it's helped him maybe see the ball a little bit better.
Kicking team, 43, 5-yard penalty, replay the kickoff.
So we'll kick it again. Just a recap on the last drive, 6 plays, 42 yards for LSU, as that puts them on the board here early in the second quarter. You know, you talk about Dwayne Bowe, and I remember last season early on, if there was a knock against Dwayne Bowe, it was that sometimes he would drop some catches that were legitimate and people thought plays that he should have made, and those days are seemingly gone.
Well, and I'm going to tell you, how good is this? You know, if he can't forecast the future. I asked him, give me some numbers this year when I talked to him in the summer. How many grabs, how many yards, how many touchdowns? He said, I'm going to have 5 grabs a game. That would give him 60 on the season, correct? 800 yards and 12 touchdowns. He's got 48 catches come into the game, 780 yards, and 9 make this 10 touchdowns. He's got this game and another game yet to go.
Still on his feet, Marshae Green. He has some green ahead of him. Chris Jackson trying to run him down, and does successfully, but not after a huge return by Marshae Green on the kickoff after the penalty assessed to LSU.
And Marshae Green, another Louisiana transplant out of Bastrop High School. Very, very quick, speedy guy. He has 98 touchdowns, with us a state record in Louisiana. 98 career touchdowns, and he's off to the races as Chris Jackson slows him up and waits till the cavalry arrives. But an outstanding run.
That it was 42 yards on that run, and Ole Miss is, I wouldn't say deep, but well into LSU territory. That is Schaefer trying to out-juke Landry, and he is unsuccessful in that attempt.
And LaRon Landry's responsibility at that time, Doug, was Brent Schaefer. And, you know, he causes the most damage when he does break contain. And that they want him to be mobile. He don't want to step back in and be in a pocket. He's more dangerous when he's hits the edges and becomes a little bit Michael Vickish, if you will.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 10 now from the 34 of LSU. As LSU's defense has bent a little bit tonight, but certainly not broken. Good look at Schaefer, 6 and 7 as Ole Miss's starting quarterback. And the give is to Bruce Hall. And Hall still plowing ahead. The 6', 210-pound junior makes his way out to about the 28-yard line before being taken down by Ali Highsmith. LSU Sunday Night Live presented by South Louisiana John Deere Dealers. Tune into your local radio dial to get your first chance to talk LSU football the day after the game on LSU Sunday Night Live. Presented by South Louisiana John Deere Dealers. Talk about the game each Sunday with host Jordy Holtberg. Tune in this week in Baton Rouge on 104.5, 104.9 FM, and statewide on the LSU Sports Radio Network from 6 to 7 p.m. or attend the show each week at the Hilton Baton Rouge Capitol Center. 3rd and 4 from the 28 for Ole Miss as LSU's defense trying to stand strong. And it looks like a timeout down on the field. Ole Miss takes their first.
And Ole Miss is having a little success as they're facing a 3rd and 4 by the left side.
And we'll take a break as well as LSU's defense trying to keep Ole Miss on a 3rd and 4. Back with more after this network break.
It is a secret the government has kept hidden for years. The meaning behind the phenomenon of deja vu.
Everything's connected.
This Thanksgiving, what he has uncovered.
You guys have figured out a way to look into the actual past.
Yes. Remember that blackout we had a few years back?
Half the Northeast. My bad.
Wow. Will lead him on a journey where no one has gone before.
You think you know what's coming? You don't have a clue.
Deja Vu, rated PG-13, starts November 22nd.
For starters, Rusty's gonna need 6 months of physical therapy. Such a good daddy. After meals, give him a signed Nolan Ryan baseball. Also, rub in this regulation size pool table. Now, this might require a travel package to an All-Star game.
All-Star.
I'm sorry.
The ESPN Visa Card. Earn points towards sports tickets, merchandise, and experiences you can only get through ESPN. You spend, you score.
7-0, the 9th-ranked Tigers leading Ole Miss here early in the 2nd quarter. Capital One is getting rid of hassles and making banking easier with things like more ATMs and more branch locations. To experience no-hassle banking for yourself, visit a branch near you or log on to CapitalOneBank.com. Welcome back, everyone. Doug Ringard along with Renee Nato on this final home game of the 2006 season. And LSU right now, its defense trying to take a stand on 3rd and 4. Ole Miss trying to knock on the door and get into red zone territory. Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis looks like he has the first down for the Rebels.
And Ole Miss offensive line, credit them. They are really doing an outstanding job with Maurice Miller, John Jerry, Atkins at center, Wicker and Orr across the front. Just taking control and moving LSU's better off defensive line, just moving them back. And remember, LSU is leading the entire SEC in both total defense and scoring defense. And Ole Miss again gains first down territory, so they're moving down inside the 25-yard line and having a lot of success.
1st and 10 now from the 22. Schaefer under center. And LSU showing blitz. The pitch is to Green Ellis, and he is tripped up, but he dives across the 20 and down to about the 19-yard line. So the first trip inside the red zone for Ole Miss, where they are 18 of 23 on the year, only 23 red zone opportunities, 8 touchdowns, 10 field goals.
That was just a zone read by BenJarvis Green. Outstanding block by Michael Orr, a sophomore, 6'5½", 330. He will be a sense. We'll talk about him. He's got a great future at Ole Miss and probably beyond.
2nd and 7. And it is Schaefer who trips and is down at the 24-yard line. Still a valiant effort. Tried to make the handoff, but his arms just weren't long enough. Were they, Renee?
Boy, that play breaks you back to 2004. Eli Manning, 2004, if you recall that. And 2003, I'm sorry, 2003, as he's stepping back. And they stepped, the center tripped him up, and he fell down. And, you know, LSU won the game, but you never know what Eli Manning would have had with an opportunity in the waning seconds of that game. And kind of reminiscent of that with Schaefer tripping on the last play.
That's right. Corey Actis, probably with about his size 15, stripped up his quarterback. 3rd and 10 for Ole Miss from the 22. Schaefer dumps it off to the left side, and this one could be touchdown for Ole Miss, and it is. Bruce Hall with the touchdown for the Rebels. And how about that? It's a 7-6 game as Hall takes it in, his 5th catch of the year, as he gets the score for the Ole Miss Rebels.
His 2nd touchdown, but his 1st receiving, and that was Schaefer's 8th touchdown toss against 10 interceptions on the season. They just caught LSU in the right defense and just took advantage of it. You can see Schaefer with just a little flip. LSU was back playing deep, did not expect a play such as that, and just missing was Jesse Daniels. Touchdown for Bruce Hall, and Ole Miss is looking to tie up this game, and to a very surprised Tiger faithful here in Tiger Stadium.
Joshua Sheen on for the point after attempt, a true freshman who is a perfect 16 of 16 on the year for the PAT.
You know, Bruce Hall comes to Ole Miss looking to play quarterback. They switch him to running back. He hadn't played running back since he was 5 or 6 years old. There's an injured Tiger on the sidelines. Looks like Jesse Daniels.
And Daniels trying to make the effort there to prevent the touchdown. The senior out of Breaux Bridge High School, one of those 22 seniors playing in his final game here in Tiger Stadium tonight.
You see right here, he was the last one. You see him, and Jesse Daniels just lays down. Something gave, which prevented him to become a part of that last play. And he is walking, which is a good sign. Don't know if it may have taken a shot. Maybe someone hit him, and he's a little woozy right now. We hope, but it doesn't look like any physical problems with both arms or legs, so hopefully it'll be all cleared.
Sheen is good to go on his 17th PAT of the year, and we've got ourselves a tie ball game here in Tiger Stadium. And we'll be back with more from Tiger Stadium. We got a good one going on early, and we'll be back with more after we take this network break. All tied at 7. Surprise, surprise, at least early on, early 2nd quarter, and here's another look at the injury to the Tiger. As you can see,
oh, there's no doubt that's a
hamstring.
right side. That's a hamstring. And you know, he was probable, listed as probable for this game. So in all likelihood, that does look like a hamstring injury. Hopefully they can attend to it. If it's any question, he will not be back on the field. They're not going to risk next week and beyond. But it's a shame that Jesse Daniels playing his last game as a senior here before his fans and family. Hopefully it'll be all right in the 2nd half.
As you can see, Ole Miss's scoring drive ties this one all up at 7 here with 9:55 to go. An onside kick for Ole Miss, and I think the Rebels have recovered. The trickery continues for Ole Miss, and the Rebels do indeed have the football.
Well, I told you that. You know, I would have been surprised to see Ole Miss pull an onside kick to begin this game. They didn't do it, but they did pull one there, and anything goes in this game for Ed Orgeron. He's from Louisiana, right up the road, and he needs this game. This would be a mega win if Ole Miss would have pulled it off, and they just did it just right. Caught LSU kind of flat-footed, and they recovered the onside kick. Good placement, and again, it was unexpected. Can't touch, it's got to go 10 yards, and it did. And Ole Miss is on it, and with good field position inside LSU territory.
JaMarkus Sanford, the starting linebacker on the strong side, makes the recovery on the onside kick, and well, Ole Miss, with just put 7 points on the board, back in business here and has the football at the LSU 39-yard line.
I tell you what, he's happy with. Look at Ed Orgeron. Looks like he just won the lottery. You know, he's excited. He is excited. He's got a lineman mentality, though. He's a little bit on the tough side. Tough old Cajun Ed Orgeron.
And, you know, you alluded to the fact, you know, he's 6-15 in his second season. And, you know, in all honesty, Renee, you know, the cupboard is fairly bare, but he has a lot of young players. He's done a great job recruiting, brought in some quality players. Ole Miss could be a factor here in the coming years. I think the third and the fourth year will be, of course, the telltale seasons and really tell if Ed Orgeron can turn this program around and bring it back after the post-Eli Manning era.
Well, and we said he only has 9 seniors, which is the least amount of seniors of any team in the NCAA, along with the Minnesota Gophers. So he has a lot of freshmen, sophomores, and juniors. And, you know, the core of this team coming back, Patrick Willis will depart, but he has Schaefer coming back, Ben-Jarvis Green coming back. The defensive ends, Tillman and Hardy, are both freshmen, true freshmen. He's got Parade Jerry, down lineman, is a sophomore. Jenkins, another junior, as a defensive tackle. He's got a lot of guys, and they like Rory Johnson, number 48, weak side linebacker, is just a junior as well. But a lot of guys on offense, the entire offensive line will be coming back, and that says a lot, because you want Wicker will be leaving the left guard, but he's going to have 4 out of 5 starters coming back in the offensive line, and that's where you build consistency when you have the offensive linemen coming back, playing together for 2 or 3 years in a row, and that's where you gain your strength. And he will be, if nothing changes, he will be a force in the next couple of years.
Just want to make reference to what's going on down on the field right now. Apparently, this is under review, the onside kick, because I guess the big question from LSU sideline, did it go the allotted 10 yards, and what happened throughout?
Did anyone touch it? Yes.
And here it is.
Play. Video evidence confirms the ruling on the field. Ball was not touched until after it went 10 yards. First down, Ole Miss.
Well, that answered our question quickly.
Yes, it certainly did, and so Orgeron can continue to celebrate, and Les Miles still not pleased. As we said, you know, LSU not particularly coming out with a spark here tonight, despite the senior night, emotional last game of the season in Tiger Stadium. 1st and 10 from the 39. Ole Miss trying to capitalize on this onside kick. Schaefer, a quick pass to the left side. It's complete. And Mike Wallace reverses field, and he could get to the outside and do some damage. He's run out of bounds at the 34-yard line. Jonathan Zenon heads up, got over there to make the play.
And here we go right here, as you can see, Marshae Green returning this kick right here, and this puts him in great position. Marshae Green, great speed. Chris Jackson finally made the stop here, but a nice run by Ben-Jarvis Green. A little screen pass here to Bruce Hall for the touchdown, just barely in front of LaRon Landry. So 3 big plays right there got Ole Miss back into the game. Personal foul against LSU will move it closer to their end zone, and that last series with the score in the final play has really boosted his confidence in this Ole Miss offense, and really shooting them sky high. Following this onside kick, they are really sky high right now inside the 20-yard line.
Ole Miss has a little momentum on its side right now. 1st and 10, they spot it at the 19. The Rebels' second visit inside the red zone so far here tonight. Brent Schaefer at quarterback, and the Tiger Stadium crowd being very vocal. Schaefer gives it to Green Ellis, and Ellis is dragged down after a gain of 1 on the play. Glenn Dorsey down there making first contact on the play. And Green Ellis, boy, back in his freshman year at University of Indiana, he rushed for 203 yards against Penn State. That is a career high. Now with LSU, I should say with Ole Miss, his career high is 135.
That was against Georgia.
And that was back on September 30th. Coming to the game, 134 yards shy of the 1,000-yard mark on 2nd and 9. And he has just 19 tonight and more after that run. Brings him down to about the 7-yard line. And that will be good enough also for another Ole Miss first down.
Great vision on this play as JaMarkus Green just picking his hole through the briar patch. And it's just a stretch play. Good block right here on the corner. Another good block there. That was Maurice Miller, number 79, and finally gets him down. Just good individual effort in running, breaking tackles, getting at the 6-yard line. And LSU defense going to really dig in here. It's going to be a 1st and goal, and boy, LSU has their backs to the wall right now with a 7-7 game.
Green Ellis again, rambling up to about the 2-yard line before he hits the wall. As Jacob Cotrera down there, Craig Stelz also in on the tackle. Cotrera making the start here tonight in place of the injured Derry Beckwith.
And he's better between tackles. He takes on LaRon Landry, which is not a shoddy tackler, and he gains some yardage. He is a good north-south guy, good body lean. He's running downhill, which means once he gets past the line of scrimmage, he's got a good head of steam. But he's not good on the perimeter. Right now, tonight, 72 yards. Tonight gave up 50 already, so the LSU defense has really been challenged.
2nd and goal for the Rebels from the 3. Green Ellis again. And he gets down to about maybe the 2-yard line.
Charles Alexander led the Tiger tacklers.
Alexander in. Also middle linebacker as well. Luke Sanders in on stop. This is 3rd goal. This is going to be a big down right here for the Tigers and Ole Miss. I would suspect if they don't get it here, I can see Ed Orgeron going for it on 4th down.
Oh, no question. You know, we talked about that, and there's nothing at all for Ole Miss to risk here tonight. Nothing to lose, and that's a kind of a scary situation. Green Ellis goes up and over the top, and he is in, and the Rebels have taken the lead over LSU.
His 7th touchdown of the season. He went over the top. Good surge by the offensive line of Ole Miss, and Ole Miss takes the lead 13-7 at the 6:57 mark. And you know, this silence right now is kind of a stunned home crowd here for the LSU Tigers. Not used to seeing LSU behind, as we said. 13 wins in a month of November, 7 wins in a row at home. LSU's trailing right now.
And keep in mind, this is a LSU defense that is ranked amongst the best in the SEC in almost every category, and also nationally ranked, but have not looked the part so far here tonight. You know, they bent early on, but here comes LSU's defense against this Ole Miss offense, taking risks, pulling out all the stops. And keep in mind what this has been a result of, some trickery on Ole Miss's behalf.
JaMarkus Green going over the top, and he wasn't hit till he broke the plane. So that was just a good surge by the offensive line of Ole Miss. And yeah, Doug, I concur. LSU is 2nd in the entire nation in total defense, but Ole Miss is taking them to task right now, and a lot of big plays.
Where can you get the car insurance you need at competitive rates? Talk with someone you can count on from a company you can trust. Call a State Farm agent today and find out why more people choose State Farm for car insurance. State Farm Insurance.
You know, the big play was that onside kick that they had turned into points, and that big run by Marshae Green.
It was also a penalty on Zenon on the play that gave some additional yards.
Look at Les Miles right now, and well, look at this. Look at this. Boy, that's a big man jumping up and down. He is jacked up. Wow. Didn't Bobby Knight get in trouble? Didn't Bobby Knight get in trouble for that? I guess you can't flag him.
This is football, though.
Oh.
Yeah.
You can't hit him under the chin. You can hit him in the head, though.
You can take one on the chin. You just can't put one on the chin. And this one kind of a squib kick. And that one will be bobbled back at the 13-yard line. Holiday. And once he recovers, he's run out of bounds at the 17. A return of about 4 on the return. And the Tigers with 6:46 to go here in this second quarter, trailing 14-7.
Late flag, don't know what it was about after the tackle, so it may have been some, was it taunting? I mean, there's got to be a discussion here, because a late hit or a personal foul of some kind of face mask would have already been called. We'll see. Personal foul against LSU.
LSU first in the SEC offensively. Following the play, dead ball, late hit, 85 for the receiving team. Penalty
Doug Blanchard, the senior.
And JaMarkus Russell looking for a receiver. And that's a nice throw to Buster Davis. And this is the touchdown to Dwayne Bowe. The 22nd touchdown toss for JaMarkus Russell. And that was the record right there. The all-time record in combination.
Tying it, actually, 21.
Yep.
And you can see the field position. How about that? Ole Miss, average field position at the 50. And so now Russell trying to dig out of a hole in a 7-point disadvantage. And the give is to the right side, and the Ole Miss defense answers big. Jacob Hester, and a good look right there at number 48, Rory Johnson. One of those linebackers for Ole Miss, just a junior. He has registered double-digit tackles in 4 of his last 6 games.
And Rory Johnson runs very well. You see number 48, Phils. He will be the heir apparent to the middle linebacker when Patrick Willis departs. Rory Johnson, 6'1", 235, was headed to Mississippi State before he headed to went to junior college, made his way over to Ole Miss, and well, he is in 2004. He's going to be a bulldog at Mississippi State. Ole Miss is glad to have him.
It's going to be offside against Ole Miss. The pass complete to Davis, and he's up to about the 18-yard line. But of course it will be offside on Ole Miss. Interesting about Johnson, you know, as you said, he originally signed with Mississippi State, then went to Hines Community College. He showed up at camp spring ball 2 weeks late, and has certainly made all the necessary adjustments. He's really been a factor defensively for the Rebels.
And Patrick Willis owns most of the season tackling records, but you know, he had 16 stops against Vanderbilt and a fumble recovery for 28 yards for a touchdown. 16 tackles.
Offsides. Defense 92. The penalties decline. 3rd down.
So Marcus Tillman offside. The Tigers elect to keep the play, and that'll bring up 3rd and short.
Rory Johnson, most tackles, 16, most by a linebacker, anyone since 1996. But he's going to be a very special player for the Ole Miss Rebels next year.
Good look there at Marcus Tillman, and now Patrick Willis, a finalist for the Butkus Award, as one of the top linebackers, if not the best in the country. That's Hester, the ball carrier, has the first down for LSU. He's been kind of quiet so far here tonight. Really, until this series, we really haven't seen much of Jacob Hester.
As Early Doucette limps off the field. Jacob Hester is just a, you know, all-around player. He plays great on special teams, and also as a receiver and a rusher. He's got 355 yards. Very respectable, just under 7 yards per tote.
Want to mention 30 receptions for Hester, the most for an LSU running back since Eddie Fuller back in 1989. That's going back a little time, isn't it? 1st and 10, and Russell dragged down a rare sack as he is dragged down at the 7-yard line, and that is a fired up Ole Miss defense. And coming up with that sack.
And that was a corner blitz. Nate Banks with the sack, his 2nd sack. So they do send him quite often, but Nate Banks came at a very good time. Ed Orgeron's defense sent him, and Nate Banks kind of caught the LSU by surprise, and the big sack pushes him way back. It's going to be 2nd and 21. You know, before you forget about Jacob Hester, he has 9 touchdowns total, 6 rushing, 3 receiving. He is 2nd in the SEC behind Darren McFadden, who has 13 for Arkansas.
So now 2nd and 21, the Tigers from their own 10-yard line, and a little movement down there on the line. No flags thrown. The pass complete to Davis, and Davis makes his way out to the 18-yard line before he's brought down by Patrick Willis. Patrick Willis coming back from off-season foot surgery.
There was a flag, so we'll see with the discussion. I'm sure it's going to go against Ole Miss.
It was, I believe, jumping offside once again.
Offsides. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
Inside 4 minutes to go, first half. Ole Miss in a very surprising development, leading by a touchdown.
You know, Greg Hardy, you talked about him playing against Diakowski. Greg Hardy is a freshman, 6'5", 235, wears number 86. He is probably the best athlete behind Patrick Willis on defense, and only a freshman. He had 10 stops against Vanderbilt. He came to Ole Miss expecting to play tight end and play basketball. They got him as a defensive end, but what an athlete.
Tied for the most sacks on the team with 2. Russell under pressure, tries to get it off to Davis, and that one will be incomplete. And that'll bring up 3rd and very long.
And he shook off some pressure, but didn't get to step into his throw, and certainly the heat got to JaMarkus Russell and affected his throw, where he couldn't concentrate and put enough oomph into it for the completion. Really Doucette and Brandon LaFell re-enters the game as Justin Vincent and Richard Dixon leave. Dixon left earlier in the first quarter with an injury.
Not the performance so far we expected from JaMarkus Russell here tonight, as he has been red hot here in Tiger Stadium, completing nearly 80% of his passes against the opposition so far this year. Those 17 touchdowns, just 1 interception. Russell, 3rd and 16, has time, and now throws this one high and over the middle, and it'll fall incomplete. Dwayne Bowe, the intended receiver of the pass, definitely underthrown, and Charles Clark right there to make the coverage for Ole Miss.
A very, very dangerous throw as he threw it to double coverage, and the closest to receive was Ole Miss defenders, but incomplete, and JaMarkus just had enough, didn't put enough underneath it, and Dwayne Bowe had a step momentarily, but incomplete. 4th down, and again Chris Jackson will be standing in his own goal and may give Ole Miss a pretty good opportunity. They have something, as you don't see very often, 3 receivers deep for this punt.
And again, we've talked about Ole Miss's field position so far here tonight. It's been the 50-yard line. Jackson gets off a low punt. That one will be fielded at the 46-yard line. That's Marshae Green. And Green still on his feet, and he's up inside the 35 down to the 33. Ole Miss and their special teams have been A+ so far tonight.
Ryan Willis with the stop, but Marshae Green with that 4.4 speed hits it on the outside, and his dangerous. As you see, they had these 3 guys back, so they were going for the return. Marshae Green with some pretty nifty running. LSU in pursuit, and had not been for Ryan Willis fighting off a block here, he may have gained another 5 or 10 yards.
18 yards on that return, and how about Ole Miss looking pretty? Listen to this. Leon Williams of Geismar won a trip to compete in an actual World Poker Tour tournament, playing $100,000 Hold'em poker from the Louisiana Lottery. Be sure to send in your non-winning $100,000 Hold'em poker scratch-offs for your chance to be the next prize trip winner and the prize pack winner. I think I said that.
Marlin favorite.
It's important I said it twice.
Yes, make sure, in case you missed it the first time.
That's it.
Marlin favorite, number 99 out of West Jefferson High School in New Orleans, on the last stop. He's just a sophomore and got a great future here. Really come a long way.
Gain of 2 on the play, 2nd and 8. Ball spotted on the 30-yard line.
And their field position has certainly been indicative of the score here, because they, the plays they've made has shrunk the field for the offense and given Brent Schaefer a great starting point, and they've capitalized on the miscues of the LSU defense.
Schaefer gives it to Ellis, and Ellis right up the gut at Ali Highsmith there to meet him at the 26-yard line, and that'll be a pickup of 4 on the play. Coming up at halftime, the Tigers visit a local school. We'll bring you a nice story about that. You'll hear from the Golden Band from Tigerland, and of course we'll have first half stats and highlights. That's all coming up at the half. 14 points for the Rebels of Ole Miss. That matches their average per game this season. That is last in the SEC.
Ole Miss has come close in Georgia, Alabama, and Auburn. They could have won all 3 games, just losing by 5 or 6 points. So they've been in every game, and they could have won 3 more with just one player or another.
Schaefer making a run for it on 3rd and 4. Great second effort. It looks like he has the first down.
Good improvising by Brent Schaefer, and couldn't find a receiver. Just took off and made the most of that play. And when they want him to be more natural, and that's when he's the most dangerous as a runner. And that was the last play. It was a good evidence of what he can do when he just relaxes and doesn't try to force the play.
Well, this will be a close spot. I know the Rebel players were indicating that they thought they had the first down, but bring out the chains for a measurement. This one is going to be probably a matter of inches. And short. by a few more than inches. So, but hey, 4th down, we've seen Ole Miss do everything almost in the book that they possibly can tonight.
They're going for it.
Oh, I got to think so.
Oh, yeah.
14-7.
And I tell you what, they're getting a good surge off the offensive line. So
look at Ed Orgeron. So animated. This is a huge game for him and his Rebels.
And they have a huge line, you know, in the tackles. You know, 320 and 330. Miller at 320 right tackle, 330 and of course John Jerry 340 the right guard. They have a lot of beef and size up front, so he don't need much for this first down. I think Schaefer's going to keep it.
And Schaefer does, and looks to have the first down on the keeper as he dives forward and gets the necessary yard.
And the official indicates first down Ole Miss.
And now Ole Miss 1 for 2 on their 4th down conversions here tonight. As they came into the year, 42%, 8 of 19.
And this, you know, this entire game from the success that Schaefer has had, comes into the game just completing 47% of his tosses. He has gained a lot of confidence, the success the offense has had.
Schaefer on 1st and 10, rolling out, throws to the left side, and that one batted down by Chevis Jackson. The intended receiver, Mike Wallace, the sophomore out of O. Perry Walker High School in New Orleans.
Just a sideline route as Schaefer rolls left, and again, he gets out of the pocket, breaks contain. Play action fake there, and just trying to hit on the corner, a corner route to Wallace, and good defensive effort by Chevis Jackson. Boy, he's got some great hips, and Chevis Jackson, good technique for a cornerback, great size too. Reminds you a lot of a Corey Webster, just the way he looks, a big 6'1", 189, and good break on the ball, good anticipation.
Jackson tied, or the team leader in pass breakups with 9, make it 10 on the year. 45 seconds to go, 2nd quarter. Green Ellis, the ball carrier, and he's stuffed at about the 20-yard line, picks up maybe a yard on that play.
And stopped by Jacob Cotrera, who is filling in for Gary Beckwith on the Buck side, or Sam linebacker. And, you know, he moves from middle linebacker, backing up Luke Sanders to the outside. And you may think that's easy, but as an inside linebacker, Doug, the inside keys of inside linebacker is the key to read the center, guard, and fullback. And when you go on the outside, you want to read the tackle, tight end, and fullback. It sounds simple, but it's just different reads and different keys, and it's what your responsibility is as a linebacker. You just don't go out there and play and make tackles. You have a responsibility.
Good look at Les Miles, a 2nd-year coach, whose Tigers trailing 14-7. Who would have thunk it? 40 seconds remaining here in this 2nd quarter, and Ole Miss with a legitimate opportunity here to put more points on the board before the intermission.
LSU coming in at probably about a 25 to 27 point favorite in this game. And, you know, people, that's why you can't just write it off as just a W, because Ole Miss, LSU, and Ole Miss always plays LSU very, very close regardless of the records.
You look at the stats coming into this game, Renee, and you just say, no way. Ole Miss just really doesn't stand a chance, but they have been so heads up here tonight. They have shown us some surprises. They pulled out all stops, and the trickeries really has kept them in this game and given them the lead here, 14-7. If you're looking for a financial partner that really measures up, Campus Federal may be your perfect fit. Visit their website at www.campusfederal.org. Campus Federal Credit Union.
You know, and LSU hasn't blitzed a lot. You know, I think you've seen in the past, and Glenn Dorsey kind of confirmed it. They haven't done as much blitzing, and they haven't done as much slanting or stunning from the defensive line, which usually confuses the blocking assignments. They've played it pretty straight. They're going with a 3-man front right now.
From the shotgun on 3rd and 8, Schaefer pumps, looks into the end zone. He's got an open receiver. He overthrew him. Stelz makes the interception, but he is out of the back of the end zone. And boy, Schaefer really overthrew his receiver.
Zenon was the defender, but Stelz came over the top, and had that been an interception, it had been his 4th, had been his, you can see, his 5th, it would have been his 5th rather, as a great athletic move by Craig Stelz coming over the top to help Zenon, as the receiver had beaten him. Shea Hodge had gotten beyond Zenon in a field goal attempt here of 37 yards.
Joshua Sheen has made his last 9 field goals. He's 10 of 12 on the year. And this one is up, and it is no good. The streak is over as Sheen misses the field goal. And so it remains a 14-7 Ole Miss lead here. And pretty surprising because Sheen, coming off a career best 52-yarder against Northwestern State just 2 weeks ago in their last outing. And you can take another look, not even close.
Yeah, he really hit it bad to the right-hand side.
Somebody moves the upright.
And I think that gust of wind that came through was not a front. That was breathing a sigh of relief, and everyone in the end zone just blowing real hard may have affected that field goal attempt. But, you know, it's going to be a little bit easier now. LSU drilling by 7 instead of 10.
And they're going to take a knee here on the last play, and it elicits boos from the Tiger faithful, as the Tigers will go into the half trailing 14-7. The last time the Tigers trailed at the half in Tiger Stadium, November 13th, 2004, when they trailed the Alabama Crimson Tide 10-6, but they won that game 26-10. And we'll be back. It's halftime in Tiger Stadium. Ole Miss leading 14-7. We'll be back with more Tiger Vision after we take this network break. 14-7, Ole Miss leading LSU at the half. We talked at the top of the broadcast, Renee, about how LSU's opportunity to win the SEC West, it was dashed because of Arkansas's win over Mississippi State. And let's take a look at some of the scores from around the SEC today. As so far right now, 14-7 at the half. It is Ole Miss out in front. It was Tennessee defeating Vanderbilt 39-10. South Carolina beating up on Middle Tennessee. That one now a final. Arkansas in that game that dashed the Tigers any outside hopes of winning the SEC West, 28-14 over Mississippi State. Florida, a huge winner over Western Carolina. Kentucky squeaks by UL Monroe, and Auburn. What a great game that was. And 22-15 the final, as I guess Tommy gets the thumb. And let's take a look at from the East. Florida sitting pretty at the top, 8-1 in SEC play. Kentucky 5-3. Tennessee, Georgia, South Carolina, and Vandy with its lone victory. It's been an interesting year so far in the SEC. And here's how things look in the West. The Tigers right now in third place, 4-2 overall in the SEC, 8-2 I should say overall. And of course Ole Miss, just one win in SEC play, but pulling out all the stops so far here tonight.
And Ole Miss has been a surprise, you know, both offense and defense. And, you know, I can't tell you how much that offensive line has played well for Ole Miss and can control against a much more talented Tigers.
Take a look at some highlights from the first half as the Tigers started off slowly, and Ole Miss capitalized on some opportunities. But here's Russell to Bo, 21st career touchdown between the two.
And Brent Schaefer with a nice call here. Bruce Hall with a touchdown toss, his first touchdown catch of the season. And here's an onside kick, which Ole Miss, you know, expertly jumped on the ball. And Ben Jarvis Green up for his 7th touchdown run of the season, puts the Rebels ahead over the Tigers 14-7. And you can see here
some first half numbers, as you can see. Ole Miss 64 first half rushing yards compared to LSU's 39. You see the first downs, Ole Miss with 8 to the Tigers 5, but really the field position has been the big thing. The Rebels have taken over at midfield on the average.
And they have done a good job with opportunity, very opportunistic team, and they've capitalized, taken some chances, and won the gamble and scored 14 points. So we'll see, and Ole Miss will receive for the second half.
Second half is straight ahead from Tiger Stadium. It's Ole Miss leading the Tigers 14-7, back with third quarter action after we take this network break on Tiger Vision. As they had won the toss off the top and it's in the first half, and now it will be Ole Miss returning the kick here to start the second half. A good look at Les Miles, the Tiger head coach, who needs his offense to step it up a notch and needs his defense to button things down in the second half. First half numbers, Ben Jarvis Green Ellis, 14 carries, 45 yards. Keep in mind, no opposing running back has rushed for 100+ against LSU so far this year. Second half underway, and that one taken at the 6-yard line. And across the 25, 30, 35, almost tripped up. Marshae Green is run out of bounds, and my goodness, have special teams come to life for the Rebels tonight.
Danny McCray has saved what might have been, if not a touchdown, a much longer run as 44 escorted him out. Just, you can see right here, a C opens up. Nice opening for Marshae Green. Good running. Chevis Jackson is knocked out here, and he's just got a wall in front of him. Danny McCray sneaks in inside that wall and somehow knocks him out of bounds. But had he gotten past Danny McCray, there's only one defender in front of him, and it was touchdown for Ole Miss.
How about 61 yards on that return? 1st and 10 from the 33 of LSU. And once again, field position for Ole Miss has been supreme. Green Ellis just continues to churn, and he gains 8 up to the 25.
Draw play by Schaefer. And, you know, again, it's just blocking up front as Ole Miss takes control. And LSU just cannot get, you know, they can't get contact. They can't get penetration enough to get contact with JaMarkus Green. They're not making contact with him until he hits the line of scrimmage or beyond, and he breaks 2 tackles right there, one by Dorsey, one by Chase Pittman, who are very dependable tacklers. Picks up 8 on the play, call it 7. 2nd and 3, and Ole Miss has a down to play with here.
15 carries, 52 yards for Green Ellis on the night. And back to the ground game, and that will be close to the 1st down.
I think he's probably got it. Is just very determined run by JaMarkus Green. Very physical runner, and not a big guy, 5'11", 211, but boy, I tell you what, he's got a good pad level.
And there again is a look at the field position. Ole Miss, the LSU 46. It just seems to continue to tilt in their direction.
You know, when they shrink the field, it opens up your options.
Schaefer with the give to Ellis, and penalty flags on the play as that one is whistled dead. As we mentioned, no opposing running back has gone 100+ on the Tigers this year. Ellis has 4 games of 100+ in his career, in this season.
Fraction, 51 offense, 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
So that'll push back Ole Miss after the false start penalty. Corey Actis, the junior center, came all the way from Bakersfield, California, played for the Rebels.
You know, LSU has not had a lot of success. They had some moderate success running the ball, and you know, they hit Buster Davis with a couple of passes, but their passing attack has been somewhat silent, and they've had to punt the ball, so it's been much of a 3 and out for LSU offense.
Quick pass to the right side to Mike Wallace, falls incomplete. And Schaefer, who was 5 of 11 in the 1st half for 65 yards and the 1 touchdown.
We're looking at Orgeron right there. One thing LSU is having problems, which is not, you know, Brent Schaefer. They have not gotten to Brent Schaefer, and you know, he's got a quick release, so he's been a little mobile. He's escaped. He's got on the perimeter, and so they haven't really gotten to him, and haven't affected him at all. And again, credit Ole Miss offensive line with protecting him and giving him time.
On 2nd and 15, Schaefer throwing downfield, has the receiver Mike Wallace, but throws it behind him and to the right. And nice coverage down there as well by Jonathan Zenon.
Zenon was in cover 1, man up on Mike Wallace, and that is a tough thing. You know, a lot to ask is LaRon Landry. Good look at him right there. He's been kind of quiet. Actually, LaRon Landry is the 2nd leading tackle on his team, and he's been very, very solid tonight. He's got 52 stops coming into this game. 3rd and long.
Brent Schaefer stands back at his own, at the 33-yard line. The quick slant, or quick pitch, I should say, and that gets up to about the 20, which was the original line of scrimmage. And that was Robert Lane, a former quarterback for the Ole Miss Rebels, who's now a converted tight end.
And he's got 9, make that 10 grabs for Ole Miss. He's got a great set of hands. He catches like a wide receiver. You know, just a couple of years ago, he was a quarterback that had a 4-yard touchdown run against these LSU Tigers right here in Tiger Stadium Field. But He almost transferred to Northwest Louisiana, stayed here, and he has a good future. Just a junior, a big tight end, 6'5", 250.
Sheen on to kick, which will be a 38-yard try. Missed once earlier tonight. This one is good. And Sheen is now 11 of 14 on the year. And more importantly for Ole Miss, it makes it a 17-7 lead. And we'll be back. Ole Miss extending its lead to 10. We've got ourselves a network break right here on Tiger Vision. 10-point Ole Miss lead, and they've relied on special teams tonight, which have played huge in this game, Renee.
And this is another great run by Marche Green, and he's been a thorn in the side of the LSU special teams. You know, offense, defense, and special teams, and Ole Miss is definitely winning the battle of special teams. And the reason right there is number 21, Marche Green. Here's another run. Marche Green, you see, is just a great runner, broken field runner, and this is the latest run, a 61-yard return, which set up that field goal. And it was a touchdown-saving tackle by Danny McCray that bumped him out of bounds. Down by Trenton Holiday, and LSU will begin this drive at their own 20-yard line. And I don't think it's imperative that they score on this series, but look at Ed Orgeron, 129 yards in kick returns tonight. He's got to be pretty happy with that.
Special teams have been a huge factor tonight for the Rebels of Ole Miss.
No, Doug, I don't think it's imperative that LSU scores in this series, but they do have to make a statement, move the ball, and at least move into Ole Miss territory and make a statement to get their confidence back, get their swagger back, if you will. If they go 3 and out and give the ball to Ole Miss and give good field position, it could prove more, it could be costly for the LSU Tigers.
Hester, the ball carrier, just seems like they have not really clicked like the way we've seen them click this season, Renee.
Well, they haven't really been successful either running or passing the ball, and JaMarkus was sacked a little earlier in the second quarter, and that's something you don't see very often, as LSU has given up just 13 sacks.
And you see total yards here tonight in offense, LSU just right at the century mark, far below what we are accustomed to seeing them put on the board. Russell 5 of 10 passing in the first half. And Russell rolling out, and the pass complete. That's early Doucette who makes his first grab. Doucette with a nice pickup on the play. First catch of the night for early Doucette, who's coming off that 7-catch, 101-yard performance against Alabama. That was a career best yards wise.
And that was a throw that naked boot, and JaMarkus found number 9. You know, we're looking at those yardage though, and it does not include the return yardage, which has been a vital part of this game, and also 147 yards, shrunk in the field, which has given Ole Miss didn't have to travel as far to come up with a score. As a nice effort by Jacob Hester, probably gets him a first down.
Definitely gets the first down and keeps the chains moving. And who would have thought LSU fans would be sitting here in Tiger Stadium here in the early part of the third quarter and see their Tigers trailing the Rebels by 10. It sure kept their fannies in the seats.
You know, it's about time you may see number 80 soon, as he swaggers back on the field. Buster Davis and Dwayne Bowe, and two big seniors here playing their last go for Tiger fans.
From the 32-yard line of LSU, quick handoff. And that was Hester once again, gets maybe a yard. Rory Johnson there on the defensive stop for the Rebels.
The linebackers for Ole Miss are very active. Rory Johnson, weak linebacker, Willison. You know, those two guys have most of the tackles. Rory Johnson with 72 and Patrick Willis with 112 coming into the game. Good look right there at number 92. That's Marcus Tillman. Again, was almost a Tiger before he cast his lot with the Ole Miss Rebels.
Marcus Tillman and Greg Hardy, two true freshmen starting for Ole Miss. And on run out of bounds, we've got ourselves a penalty flag. Looks like a late hit on the play. And it looks like Charles Clark.
Following the play, dead ball, personal foul. 48 of the defense, unnecessary roughness.
Rory Johnson.
15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
But watch this. You almost had disaster as number 70, whoa, almost collided with early Doucette. Puts a little juke move on him out of the field of play. And you see what happened is Rory Johnson was out of the field of play. Had he just let him go, he was heading that way. But the fact that he was aggressively tried to tackle him and pull him out of bounds, it was perceived by the, interpreted by the officials that it was overly aggressive. So 15 yards tacked on.
And Patrick Willis was right there, gave him a push as well. 1st and 10 now, the Tigers in Ole Miss territory. Russell looking downfield and overthrows his intended receiver was early Doucette. Nice coverage on the play by Charles Clark. Once again, the team leader with 2 interceptions. In fact, it is Clark who has the Rebels' only interceptions of this 2006 season.
Corner blitz by number 12, Dustin Muzon, was picked up by Jacob Hester, but JaMarkus couldn't find his mark. And again, that was Ole Miss is not blitzing very much tonight. They're just doing a good job with their front 4 and their linebackers.
JaMarkus Russell in the top 5 categories all time at LSU. 5 different categories, I should say, ranked in the top 5, including the best percentage of passes completed. And that pass is completed. Down at the 32-yard line, coming up with that grab is Buster Davis. And a nice big catch for Buster as that keeps the chains moving for LSU on a very important drive here early in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, we said that they had to make a statement as JaMarkus Russell is rolling. And this is something they like. You know, he gets his hips and gets himself acclimated and just makes the throw. And that was a very tough throw, rolling to his right, but he threw across the bow, and that's something the NFL scouts really like.
JaMarkus Russell 6 of 12 for 64 yards, and this a season low so far tonight. They had 129 against Auburn, and nowhere to run for Trendon Holiday, the little 5'5" freshman dynamo, as he can't find any room to the outside.
You know, and probably the best player in the SEC, Patrick Willis, makes yet another stop. And he was the Mr. Tennessee Class A football MVP coming out of Brewston, Tennessee. And boy, you see he's got great penetration, fights off the block of Richard Dixon and makes the stop, ankle tackle. It's a loss of 1, call it 2nd and 11, and Patrick Willis continues to make big plays and hold this Ole Miss defense together.
Willis 10 tackles or more in 16 of his last 18 games, led the nation last year, 2nd in the country this year. 2nd and 11. The Tigers need to get down to the 22-yard line for the 1st down. And that'll get him down to about the 30-yard line. As on the carry, Ali Broussard. As Broussard sees his first action tonight, it was 2 years ago, almost to the day, that Ali Broussard rambled for a school record 250 yards against these Ole Miss Rebels in a 27-24 victory for LSU right here at Tiger Stadium. A very big 3rd down. Russell from the shotgun. Across the middle, almost intercepted. Almost coming up with a pick was Brian Brown, the strong safety, as Dwayne Bowe, the intended receiver, and man, was that close.
Dwayne Bowe running a skinny post, and LSU is very fortunate that that was not intercepted. Maybe looks like LSU's going to try a field goal now with Colt David. Close to a 50-yard call with a 48-yarder, Doug. That's going to be a significant length.
Would you be surprised to see him put a fake on right
No,
here?
I think they're going to go for the field goal. I just don't suspect that would happen.
Godet on the year, just 1 of 1. Is that Godet or is that David? It is David, actually. 4 of 7 on the year, as long as 45. And still his long is 45 as that one misses. And the Tigers come up empty on that drive with 7:04 remaining here in the 3rd. And Ole Miss still up by 10. And we'll be back with more from Tiger Stadium after we take this network break. Ole Miss still in the driver's seat. 7:04 to go in the 3rd, and Ole Miss with a 10-point lead over the 9th-ranked Tigers of LSU. Capital One is getting rid of hassles and making banking easier with things like more ATMs and more branch locations. To experience no-hassle banking for yourself, visit a branch near you or log on to CapitalOneBank.com. Ole Miss taking over on their own 31-yard line after that Colt David missed 48-yard field goal, and Ben Jarvis Green right back to the ground attack, and Ricky Jean-Francois meets him at the 31-yard line, right back at the line of scrimmage.
This is second time Ole Miss has been in this kind of situation. They've had great field position throughout the entire game. They're starting in a pretty bad spot here. This is the second worst, or the same where they started before. You got a new quarterback in, Seth Adams, a 6'4", 215-pound JUCO, spells Schaefer. Don't know what the reason for that is. It may be an injury or just a change in pace, if you will.
2nd and 8 now from the 33-yard line. As Seth Adams is in at quarterback for Ole Miss. As Wallace gets up to about the 35-yard line, it'll be 3rd and about 6 to go for Ole Miss. They need to get out across the 41 for the first down. So Seth Adams seeing some limited action. He was a walk-on in the spring out of Delta State Community College. Hines Community College as well, resides in Holly Springs, Mississippi. 4 games of action so far this year. You saw his numbers, 13 of 23 for 143 yards. From the shotgun on 3rd and 6. The Tigers blitzing. Adams downfield. The pass is complete at the 46-yard line. What a nice grab by Mike Wallace as he went down onto both knees to haul that grab in.
And he did a comeback on Chevis Jackson. He was doing a fly route as a nice delivery by Seth Adams. And he just a sideline pass, and Chevis Jackson, he threw it right where it needed to be thrown. There's not much Chevis Jackson could have done. And you can see he stays in the pocket, although bombs are all about him, and he's about to, and LSU really took a hit on Seth Adams right after he delivered the ball, but he did deliver the completion, and first down Ole Miss.
Gain of 11 on the play, 1st and 10 from their own 46. Green Ellis has room to the left side across midfield and down inside the 40 to the 38-yard line before he's run out of bounds by Chevis Jackson. And Green Ellis continues to move the chains for the Rebels of Ole Miss, but there is a penalty flag on the play.
And that's just, he cuts it back. The play was designed to go right. Good blocking on the left side by Orr and Eckers, and Wicker rather. And looks like the play's going to come back, but a nice run.
Holding 74 of the offense. Face mask 93 of the defense. Those penalties offset. First down.
There you have it. Offsetting penalties. And so they spot it back at the 46. But Green Ellis won't get credit for a nice run.
You do it over here, and you know, reason why there was no one on the left side, Michael Orr, the left tackle, just sealed it off, and he probably got a hold on him, but
inside 5 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Ole Miss protecting a 10-point lead. Adams pass complete into Tiger territory and down to the 43-yard line. Nice grab down there by the big tight end, Lawrence Lilly, the senior from Montevallo High School in Montevallo, Alabama.
He's
south of Birmingham.
He's a big 6'4", 275-pound blocking tight end. But you can see that Adams just stays in there strong, finds the cavity, and hits Lawrence Lilly, who doesn't have a lot of receptions. He had a 3-yard touchdown against Auburn earlier this year, but a very physical blocker. He holds the school record, does Lilly, for the power clean, 385. That's a record that was broken by him, and that was held for a long, long time. What a powerful tight end blocker he is.
Lilly's longest reception of the year was just 6 yards. And now a little more trickery from the Ole Miss Rebels, as that was Shea Hodge on the reverse. Check that, Miko McSwain, as McSwain gets down to about the 38-yard line, and the Rebels just seem to be inching along. And bad news for LSU is they're taking precious time off the clock, and their ball control's been impressive so far here in the third quarter, Renee.
Credit Seth Adams. He's picked up where Brent Schaefer has left off, and it really hasn't missed a beat. Done a good job as he stepped in. No miscues, hit his receivers, good decisions. He's got the Rebels moved in 2nd and 5 inside LSU territory.
Adams obviously more of a pocket style passer. Ben Jarvis Green Ellis, the ball carrier, and forward progress gets him to about the 38-yard line. And that'll bring up 3rd and short for the Rebels.
Big ball in favor, Booger McFarland type, 6'1", 295. Fills the gap and makes the stop. He's a 670-pound bench press. Ball in favor, one of the strongest on this team. You know, LSU, one of the things I want to point out how hard they've worked. They have 51 players on this team that bench press 400 pounds or more, 9 that go over 500. A very, very powerful, strong team has worked very hard in the offseason. They hope it pays off for games such as this.
3rd and a handful. Ole Miss needs to get to the 33-yard line to get the first down, and it looks like they do, and then some, as Green Ellis again continues to move the chains for the Rebels, who now are approaching 100 yards rushing on the evening.
Watch the right side as Jerry, right tackle, and a good pull by Wicker, number 73, seals that hole, and Ben Jarvis Green just does the rest. They pull Wicker from the left guard, and he seals it. Good running here. And, I tell you what, tonight, 95 yards given up by the LSU defense.
And how about Jesse Daniels back in the game after we thought we'd seen the last of him? Back to the ground, and Ellis churning forward. He makes it up to the 25-yard line, a pickup of 4.
And this is something you just don't see very often. You know, Alabama had a little success, and perhaps Ole Miss stole a page from Alabama's last week, and they have a lot of success up front running the ball, and they're running straight at LSU and having a lot of success.
Keep in mind, LSU coming into this game first in the SEC in rushing defense, 72 yards per game, 5th best in the nation. And Ole Miss, with all due respect, has not respected that number. Not one bit tonight. Adams with plenty of time and basically throws that one away down to the feet of Bruce Hall. And that brings up 3rd and 7 for the Rebels.
And that was going to be a screen pass, much like the first touchdown that Ole Miss scored, to the same receiver, Bruce Hall, and LSU kind of smelled it out, and Seth Adams did the only thing he could do is throw it away and live to fight another day. 3rd down for Ole Miss at the 25-yard line, 3rd and 7. Big play here.
Adams, 6'4", 220-pound junior from the shotgun. Under pressure, and he is taken down on the sack. Daniel Francis on the corner blitz comes in to make the tackle and halt at least the opportunity for Ole Miss to get the first down.
And Daniel Francis is one of those seniors playing his last game here. Comes off the edge, untouched, and boy, he just really came strong, almost broke down. It gives him 2.5 sacks on the season. And the senior from Port Barre with a big play for the LSU Tigers.
And it is Sheen in for the field goal attempt. This one from 45. He's 1 of 2 tonight. It comes out low. Distance is no problem, and neither is accuracy. And so from 45 yards, Sheen hits his 2nd field goal of the night and extends the Rebel lead to 20-7 with 1:05 remaining here in the 3rd. So it's the Rebels by 13, and we'll be back with more Tiger Vision after we take this network break. Rebels extending their lead over the 9th-ranked Tigers, 20-7. Want to remind you to watch Coach Miles dissect the game on Inside LSU Football with Les Miles, presented by Whitney Bank each week on the LSU Sports Television Network. Inside LSU Football with Les Miles, presented by Whitney Bank, airs at 10:35 p.m. on WBRZ Channel 2 in Baton Rouge. Check your local listings for the coverage of the Tigers in your area, or visit lsusports.net. And another touchback for the Tigers, trailing 20-7 with less than a minute remaining here in the 3rd stanza. This has been a quiet crowd in Tiger Stadium. Had some moments where they've elicited a bit of a response, but certainly by virtue of Ole Miss putting 20 skins on the board here to the Tigers 7, they've, I think, Renee, sitting as we are in a bit of disbelief.
Yeah, and you know, LSU needs someone to step up and make a big play right now, be it offense or defense, and with their hands on the ball now, they need someone to make a big play from maybe JaMarkus.
And Russell dancing out there, whips this one downfield to particularly no one, but coming from out of the blue is early Doucette. I don't know how he made that catch. What a catch by early Doucette. And that may be the play that gets the Tigers fired up again.
You know, early Doucette made a big play last year in the Arizona State game, and we were just talking about someone needs to step up big. He just, JaMarkus eludes Greg Hardy, almost gets sacked, and in the face of a rush, he delivers a play to, and a 39-inch vertical by early Doucette kind of pays off as he kind of elevated, comes up with a big play. LSU with the ball at the 38-yard line of Ole Miss.
A 42-yard gain on the play. Russell throwing again on first down. It looks he looked to, and he decides to tuck it in and run, something we've seen him do more of late, picking up 3 on the play, as that will bring us to the end of this third quarter. Before we go to break, look at Russell. What arm strength.
And he flicked it, and just an outstanding individual effort by early Doucette. Great elevation, putting his body in a great position to make that catch, and comes with a big first down.
And we will go to the fourth quarter. Ole Miss leading 20-7, but the Tigers on the march. Back with more Tiger Vision after this network break. Baton Rouge Capital Center. Start of the fourth quarter.
Well, we said it needed a big play. They got it out of early Doucette. We'll see if they can capitalize on that opportunity and follow up with another big play. LSU certainly needs some points, trailing by 13 points right now, and a very, very hot, confident Ole Miss team.
Broussard is the lone back behind JaMarkus Russell. And he gets the give. And no gain on the play. Guess who? It was Patrick Willis in there making first contact. The nation's second leading tackler and the SEC's top tackler makes the stop. And there is a stat for you that Ole Miss averaging just 5.3 second half points per game this season. They already have 6 here tonight. And of course they have the lead here early in the fourth quarter. They've been given up a little more than 12 per game in the second half. Russell on 3rd and 8 goes downtown, wide open receiver, and he overthrows Buster Davis. That one had 6 written all over it, but Russell overthrows him by a great margin.
And that was a go route that Buster Davis. It was obviously a busted defense. Someone was supposed to pick him up, probably the safety out top, over top, and in a cover 2. And JaMarkus Russell just couldn't believe what he saw, as he is feeling pressure from Hardy. The cornerback anticipating help. Muzan was expecting help and didn't get it. And Buster Davis, as you said, had JaMarkus not been so strong. This is 4th down territory. They have no choice.
The Tigers have to go for it. Russell, 8 of 16 here tonight for 119 yards. You see his numbers in Tiger Stadium this year, completing almost 80% of his passes. Stays in the pocket, pass complete, or was it dropped after he caught it? Buster Davis, and there is a pile at the 20-yard line, and we're waiting for some indication from the referees.
Boy, this is going to be close. If LSU retains it, it'll give new life. If Ole Miss comes up with this loose ball. Whoa.
And the Tigers do indeed have the ball. Davis makes the grab, fumbles, and recovers. It looks like his own fumble.
Like former radio announcer John Ferguson said, the Tigers jumped over a snake. Wow, he's got it right here. Ball is knocked loose by a collision with Patrick Willis. And look at this, he's looking for it between his knees. Patrick Willis with the contact, and he is going to be fighting JaMarkus Sanford for the ball. And boy, I tell you what, it is a scrum.
Looks like he's dribbling behind his back in basketball.
That was very, very tough. And Buster Davis, look at this. And Brian Brown turned around, number 4 for Ole Miss, It had been a recovery.
With a fumble, which was recovered by LSU. First out.
And Ed Orgeron trying to make sense out of what happened down there. I don't think anyone would argue that that was a fumble by Buster and recovered by him as well.
I'm sure he was questioning, did LSU recover? That might have been his question for that. But, you know, LSU scores on this drive, and it might be a little bit of a new ball game because the crowd has gotten into it since that big catch by, early Doucette.
Have not seen the numbers on this, but certainly time of possession has slanted toward Ole Miss here in this second half. Back with more from Tiger Stadium. We'll take this network break.
Exclusive video evidence that the pass was incomplete. It'll be Ole Miss's ball at the previous spot. First down.
How about that? The review reverses the play on the field. They say that Buster Davis never made the grab.
Wow, that's...
You be the judge and you make the call at home. Another look. You know what? It looked like he juggled it. And so Ed Orgeron calls the officials and says, hey, and makes the right call. And now it is Ole Miss football, and that was a huge drive for the Tigers, who desperately need points to keep themselves in this ball game. Inside 14 minutes to go. 1st and 10 for the Rebels of Ole Miss. The ball at the 36-yard line, and the Rebels have done a great job taking chunks off the clock here in the second half. A very long drive in the third quarter. Took a considerable amount of time off the clock as Green Ellis gets the carry there.
And that's the thing with Ole Miss. They are very time-consuming with their drives. And, you know, they look at this. Time of possession, 26 minutes, 25 to LSU's 19:56. But Ole Miss has done the most with what they have. And, again, I can't stress it enough. Shortening the field has made it much easier for Ole Miss to come up with 20 points.
Well, you know, you talk about field position. You talk about special teams. And it's all slanted toward Ole Miss here tonight. 2nd and 10. And Green Ellis once again runs into a brick wall down there. Glenn Dorsey, just an unmovable fixture down there on that play.
You know, Glenn Dorsey, fans don't know if this will be his last game in Tiger Stadium, as he's contemplating, will he come back for his senior year or not? He's eligible for the draft, and if he was to leave, he would, right now, it looks like he would be a #1 draft choice, and LaRon Landry would be another, and don't know what JaMarkus Russell may do for 2007. If he would depart, you'd be looking at 3 #1 draft choices, and LaRon Landry, JaMarkus Russell, and Glenn Dorsey right there out of East Ascension High School. He's total package.
Yes, he is. Former 4A Defensive Player of the Year. So far this year, a 2-time Defensive Lineman of the Week in the SEC, and Ole Miss takes a timeout on a 3rd and 11. Renee, this is a huge, huge drive. We'll talk more about that when we come back. Glenn Dorsey and the Tigers trying to stand strong as we take this local break right here on this Tiger Vision broadcast. In front of the 3rd largest crowd in LSU Tiger Stadium history, this is a huge 3rd down play as the Tigers need to come up big here defensively. 3rd and 11, Ole Miss at their own 35, protecting a 13-point lead.
This play defensively will be equally as big as the early Doucette catch in the last series. Someone needs to step up big right here.
Listen to this crowd. Adams complete. And it won't be enough. Well short as they're taken down at the 30-yard line. Tyson Jackson in on the defensive play.
Tyson Jackson is the tackle.
And here's the NFL draft, and I can't take credit for this. I've consulted with some experts, Mike Detillier being one of them. And you got 2 guys there that's highlighted, JaMarkus Russell, Glenn Dorsey. You don't know if they're going to be coming out or not. If they do, you're looking at 3 #1 draft choices, LSU coming out, and as many as 10 that could be drafted, and free agents Justin Vincent and Chris Jackson. That's a lot of Tigers. There's 40 LSU Tigers in the pros right now, so these guys will join them next season.
Buster Davis standing at his own 28-yard line. Rob Park punting. Gets the punt off. Not a long punt. Taken at the 34. Davis. And he's across the 40 and run out of bounds at the 41-yard line. So with 11:13 remaining here in this fourth quarter and the Tigers facing a 13-point deficit, it is time for the Tigers to get something up and going in a big way. We'll be back with more from Tiger Stadium after we take this network break right here on Tiger Vision.
Banking.
Fifth-ranked LSU trailing by 13 to the surprising Rebels of Ole Miss. Hey, if you're looking for a financial partner that really measures up, Campus Federal may be your perfect fit. Visit their website at www.campusfederal.org. Les Miles and his Tigers with a challenge before them, overcoming a 13-point deficit. They've got 11 minutes and 13 seconds to do it. JaMarkus Russell from his 35-yard line, pass complete. That's Bo has first down yardage and then some as he's down to the 42-yard line of Ole Miss. A pickup of 17 on the play.
That gives him 50 grabs on the season, and he's averaging about 16 yards per catch, and that's about his average right there. So JaMarkus goes back into backs off a center into a shotgun, and this gives him a little more time.
And a hurry-up offense for LSU. Sensing the urgency, Hester wide open in the flat and run out of bounds at the 33-yard line. Trumaine McBride, the senior, makes the play defensively.
And that was important. He got out of bounds, stopping the clock. You know, Jacob Hester, we haven't seen Charles Scott or Keeling Williams, two highly touted freshmen. The second, Charles Scott is the second leading rusher, Keeling Williams the third. Jacob Hester comes into the game 355 yards.
And you see Russell's numbers, 10 of 19 for 144, but on this drive, a perfect 3 of 3. And this on the heels of that performance against Alabama, 18 of 21 completions. Russell, wide open receiver. Doucette has the first down. He's down to the 27-yard line before being dragged down by Patrick Willis.
And that's a tough throw, an out pattern. He has to throw that on a rope. You throw it, you put too much air underneath it, and it gives the defensive back a little time to step in. And there's no one standing between the end zone and whoever would intercept. So he's got to be very careful when he makes a throw such as that.
Russell again from the shotgun. And a quick pass, but it is behind the intended receiver, Brandon LaFell, the redshirt freshman out of Lamar High School in Houston. I remember LaFell's first catch. It was a Tiger Vision broadcast right here, and he took it in for that long touchdown.
But that was a big play. It was right behind him, but had he thrown in front, he had to throw because JaMarkus Sanford in the cover 2 was the cornerback that stood between JaMarkus and LaFell, and so he just threw it wherever he could, and it not have been intercepted. Incomplete, second down.
From the 26, Tigers need to get down to the 16-yard line to get the first down. Russell, quick stuff, and Bo, the receiver, great second effort. Bo picked up and carried back, and he's close to having the first down. That was Rory Johnson down there, just kind of picked him up like he was giving him a big old bear hug and tried to push him back.
And the guy who's got 24 career touchdown catches makes a big one right here, a big catch for near a first down, and he's got that confident mentality, just throw me the ball like a Keyshawn Johnson, and he's the guy that steps up, makes the big catches. They need him big now, 3rd and short for the Tigers.
Dwayne Bowe, 6th in the SEC with 78 yards receiving per game. And Hester finds a hole, still on his feet, inside the 10 and down to the 6-yard line.
And the offensive line is taking control now, much like the Ole Miss offensive line has done. And Hester, you can see a good run here. He's running on the right side. Good blocking between Brian Johnson and Peter Diakowski, giving him a little cushion as he just keeps turning those legs. 1st and goal from the 7.
A gritty LSU offense, determined to move the football. Great second efforts by several Tigers so far here tonight. Hester again, and maybe getting a couple of yards as he tries to turn the corner.
You know, it's funny, Doug. LSU is 2nd in the SEC in rushing offense. and you don't have a really dominating running back. Jacob Hester leads this team with 355 yards, averaging about 35 yards a game. You'd have to go back to 1991 when Odell Beckham only had 397 yards to lead his team for a runner to have such few yards and still lead the LSU Tigers in rushing for the season.
2nd and goal to go. Russell jump pass over the middle. Doucette. Touchdown Tigers. Early Doucette with his 7th touchdown of the season, and the junior from St. Martinsville High School has pulled the Tigers to within 7.
I tell you what made this play work. Great recognition by JaMarkus Russell and great elevation. Watch this. He just skied again, 39-inch vertical, which really paid off dividends there as Early Doucette with his 7th touchdown catch.
And Colt David makes good on the PAT. 2 huge catches tonight from Early Doucette, 2 in particular. And the Tigers now trailing by 6 after David makes good on the PAT. Kind of a jump pass from JaMarkus Russell as he gets that one right off to Doucette.
Good protection as zone coverage, and as he just found a crease. Good recognition by JaMarkus Russell with that touchdown toss. He surpasses Tommy Hodson with the 2nd most touchdown passes in a season with 23. So congratulations to JaMarkus Russell.
So the Tigers, with 8:46 to go, back in business and within striking distance, just a touchdown away now from, and a PAT from overtaking the Rebels.
You see Bo Pelini right there with the hat chewing the gum pretty good, and it'll be on his shoulders now for the LSU defense with a great sweatshirt there, and of course the rabid fans here to get this defense jacked up to come up with another big play as they've cut the lead to 6 points, and now the momentum has swung over to the LSU Tigers, and we'll see if Ole Miss can answer that last call and come up with a big play. Special teams, I don't think LSU wants to kick it to Marshae Green again, number 21.
You're not fooling there. Hey, Insurance Network of Louisiana can provide you with all your insurance needs, auto, home, and commercial insurance. Call Insurance Network of Louisiana for a quote on your insurance, or visit www.lainsurance.net. Boy, at all costs, kick it away from Marshae Green, who has just had a unbelievable night tonight on special teams.
Great change of direction runner, and well, he's made him pay. Last time he returned a kick, 61-yarder. They almost took it to the house. So we'll see if the special teams for the LSU Tigers, which has been a trademark for him, and can step up big here.
That last drive by LSU, 8 plays, 59 yards, took 2:27 off the clock, and of course capped by that 4-yard touchdown strike from JaMarkus Russell to Early Doucette.
The clock and ally of the Ole Miss Rebels. LSU's hoping for a 3-and-out now with Ole Miss and just use a couple of minutes off the clock and see when timeouts will begin to come into play here for the Tigers as well.
Marshae Green poised for the return, and he'll get another opportunity. Check that, Nico McSwain, and McSwain makes his way out with a penalty flag on the field. McSwain out to about the 18-yard line. And indications are against Ole Miss.
During the return, block in the back, 23 of the preceding team. 10-yard penalty, first out.
Well, this is how we've gotten to this point, a 20-14 Ole Miss lead with 8:35 to go. LSU trailing at the half for the first time at home this season, the first time in 2 years, actually. And you see Ole Miss just incredible success on special teams.
And great field position, starting average at their own 47-yard line.
Not on this drive, as they take over from their own 10-yard line. Seth Adams, the quarterback, and no running room whatsoever for Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, the SEC's second leading rusher.
And Big Marlon Favorite, you know, earlier I said he squats 6'7", he benches 545, and he's a Booger McFarland, 6'1", 295, great first step. His dad played at Langston University with Hollywood Henderson of Dallas Cowboy fame, so he's got a little bloodlines. His uncle played with the Green Bay Packers and the Pittsburgh Steelers, so it was destined he's going to be a good football player.
Green Ellis has rushed for 70 yards on 23 carries. 2nd and 11. And it looks like Adams decides to call a timeout before the snap. Ole Miss does call a timeout. Renee, the crowd is such and can be such a factor, and it certainly was on that play, but this is a crowd that has only had sporadic opportunities to cheer here tonight. But if ever there was a time, the Tiger defense certainly calling upon the crowd to cause havoc by just creating a ton of noise.
And it making a lot of noise now. It's very difficult for Ole Miss to hear.
This is a determined LSU team, and take a look at this last drive and talk about the second efforts fighting for extra yards.
Early Doucette with a catch there, coming back to Dwayne Bowe for a nice catch, almost got a first down, very determined. He is smelling, and watch Jacob Pester, great running here, running behind his shoulder pads, and Peter Diakowski, number 77, and this is it. What an outstanding catch. Protects the ball and puts his body between the defender and the ball. Early Doucette with his nice grab for a touchdown, and Tigers are within striking distance, trailing 20-14, and Early Doucette and JaMarkus Russell have teamed up to bring this team roaring back.
That was almost like a Tim Tebow type quarterback pass there from JaMarkus. You see the yards, 233 to 188.
Yeah, but
total yards tonight, a lot of those for Ole Miss are on special teams.
Yeah, no, that does not include the special teams. So remember, add special teams to that is a major factor, while Ole Miss is leading in this game 20-14.
Ole Miss's special teams yards have been probably close to in excess of what their total yards are in terms of just passing and catching and running. So quite a special teams performance, some trickery from Ole Miss here tonight, and that's why they've got a 6-point lead over what has been a pretty surprising Ole Miss performance against an LSU team that's kind of sat back in stunned disbelief.
But if gambles have paid off, going further than fourth down, being successful, that onside kick paid off. 148 yards in returns is major. You know, LSU has always been a big player in the SEC and the nation as special teams, and Ole Miss has kind of reversed the tables on them.
Adams has to dump it off because of great pursuit by Tyson Jackson down there, and a lot of trash talking taking place down on the field right now. That brings up a 3rd and 11 for Ole Miss from their own 9.
Tyson Jackson isn't fooled, and he was the SEC Defensive Player of the Week last week against Alabama, and he's 5th in the SEC in sacks with 7.5 per for the season. And boy, I'll tell you what, he's really come on. 6'5", 281 out of
Tyson
West St.
Jackson.
John.
Tyson Jackson, 8.5 tackles for losses, 7 sacks. Listen to this crowd on 3rd down. And the play whistle dead. And applause coming
Right
from...
to snap, false start, 79 offense, 5-yard penalty for 3rd down.
Ole Miss just cannot communicate. The crowd is truly the 12th man right now.
Yeah, that's in the student section of this stadium, and it is very loud. You can't hear yourself think. Maurice Miller was a sophomore, 79 jumped off sides, and I'm sure that, you know, not hearing the signals and that just crowd certainly plays a major role. Special teams, offense, defense, and crowd control.
And we've got players jumping offside, penalty flags flying, unable to tell if it was a first move on the O-line by Ole Miss. The Rebels 6 of 14 on third downs conversions tonight.
Dead ball. Ball start. 75.
This Ole Miss team cannot get a playoff with this crowd being this loud.
And here they come. It's just feeding this crowd. Again, that's in the that side of the stadium is extremely loud.
Relentless. Green Ellis up to about the 10-yard line and back to what was the original line of scrimmage after 2 consecutive penalties pushed the Rebels back due to crowd noise.
You know, the tables have turned a little bit. Ole Miss is going to have to punt the ball. They have no other choice, and LSU should come up with pretty good field position. And we'll see if Ole Miss can dig themselves out of a hole here.
Or do they just send all the guns and go for the block?
Well, that's a thought here, but LSU is certainly going to get the ball. I would just go for the return. I would not risk an all-out rush.
Park has had 1 block this year as he punts from halfway back in his end zone. He'll get this punt off, and that is Davis standing in the eye of the Tiger and calls a fair catch. So the Tigers, with 6:29 remaining and trailing by 6, have to march 50 yards to get the touchdown that will tie the game and the PAT that will put them on top. Still a very doable from a Tiger offense that's been very explosive here in Tiger Stadium. From midfield, Russell from the shotgun. And the pass complete near first down territory. Dwayne Bowe with another grab. Also tonight, Bowe extending his consecutive game streak of receptions to 23. Man who stands 6th on the all-time reception list at LSU. Receptions and yards, now more than 2,200. Russell's pass complete. And once again, that's Doucette. Capital One getting rid of hassles and making banking easier with things like more ATMs and more branch locations. To experience no hassle banking for yourself, visit a branch near you or log on to CapitalOneBank.com. From the 34-yard line, Russell looking downfield and can't hook up with Buster Davis, who had beaten the defensive back on the play, but the pass was thrown actually out of bounds.
And you know, the thing with the overthrow sometimes with JaMarkus Russell, as most quarterbacks, is it's just a follow through. You know, he releases too high, and that is the reason, as Ed Orgeron is pleading with his defense to step up. You're looking at a second down now, JaMarkus Russell. That was a throwaway down here. He's got good receivers in, and Jacob Hester with 30 grabs as well. He's a receiver out of the backfield.
Russell 15 of 26 tonight for 181 yards. Flushed out of the pocket, and LaFell can't find the handle. That one looks like it went through his hands and bounced off his knees.
This is 4th down territory for the Tigers, I can tell you. With the clock 5 minutes to go, and Ole Miss, really, the last drive was successful for the LSU defense. LSU's going to have to, well, of course, they're going to have to get something here on 3rd down to set up an opportunity to even go for it on 4th down. I would suspect this would be 4th down territory.
Not a lot of choices for LSU. It's getting into the end zone with 5:26 to go here in the 4th and trailing by 6. 4 for 9 on 3rd down conversions. Russell is going to fumble the football. Ole Miss is going to recover. It looks like now there's a mad scramble at midfield, and Russell is down on the field. I checked that. Russell standing at midfield, but there is a Tiger who is down on the field. And let's see who comes up with the football here, but certainly a wild, wild scramble, and it looks like the Tigers have maintained possession, but on 4th down now, they'll be at their own 48-yard line.
And now that takes a lot of the decision out of it here. JaMarkus Russell is facing a blitz here. You see as Patrick Willis just misses him, comes back and gets him on a second time. And luckily for the Tigers that Ole Miss couldn't come up with the pick, as Jerry, number 98, just couldn't find a handle, and Chris Jackson has to punt it away.
And Patrick Willis, the heartbeat of this Ole Miss defense, hoping for one last stand for the Rebels.
Well-timed blitz for the Ole Miss defense.
And the Tigers showing punt, and they do. And that one a fair catch, but instead letting it go into the end zone for the touchback. The Rebels will have the football at their own 20 and trying to burn 4:54 off the clock to protect this 20-14 lead. We've got ourselves a ball game here in Tiger Stadium.
Still a little surprised that Seth Adams has spelled Brent Schaefer and hadn't got any word if anything happened to Schaefer. That just made a switch, and Seth Adams has done a good job. You know, he was 8 out of 11 against Wake Forest for 84 yards. He originally played in 2004 with Delta State.
And look at this, on the average, 134.6 yards.
That's what LSU's given up. They've given up 99 tonight.
Green Ellis, still on his feet, has the first down before being dragged down by Jesse Daniels. Didn't even think we'd see Daniels back into this football game, but here he is on this senior night where he and 21 other LSU Tigers playing their last game. Ed Orgeron is just one emotional guy tonight, and you know, right now he's sitting in a position for probably the biggest win of his career.
Oh, absolutely. Coming back home again to Louisiana, and a team needing a win very badly, just coming into this game with 3 wins on the season. And Ed Orgeron has really implored his team to play well, and they have done so. Control the entire game offensively.
Green Ellis, 89 yards on 25 carries, trying to get some more, and maybe getting about 2 out of that deal. He has been a workhorse tonight. 4 games this year, he's gone over 100 plus, and has led the Rebels in rushing all 10 games. Young man out of St. Augustine High School, transfer from Indiana. And you see his numbers. It's just 7 shy of the century mark here tonight. No opposing back has gone 100 plus on the Tigers this year.
And he's earned that. Most of it's been between the tackles. The way he does his most damage. He finishes his runs. He attacks the defense and really has good pad level. When he hits you, he more explodes into the would-be tackler rather than absorb the hit. And again, not a big guy, 211 pounds, so he's very effective. Special teams has made a big difference. Set Ole Miss up, and you can see Marche Green has been the primary culprit facing the Tigers, and you see he's got tremendous explosion as Chris Jackson slows him up. Daniel Francis and company, and here's another run by Marche Green. Shifty runner, great broken field runner. Goes back to his Bastrop days as a running back, and boy, he almost took this one to the house. A touchdown saving tackle is 148 yards. That is a major factor why Ole Miss holds a slim lead over the Tigers. 3 minutes and 46 seconds is a lot of time, and you know, Ole Miss is going to continue. It's going to come to a time where LSU is going to have to start burning those timeouts.
And there is a timeout story. LSU has 2, Ole Miss just 1 remaining, and once again, let's listen in as this crowd tries to once again be a factor. Green Ellis swarmed over, and the Tigers calling a timeout down there to stop the clock with 3:36 to go. Good look at the freshman Jacob Cotrera out of Acadiana High School. True freshman getting his start tonight in place of Derry Beckwith.
He's got a great future. 6'4", 225, good range, a good hitter, uses his strength and pretty good technique out of Acadiana High School, and he's going to be a good star here. He came in, graduated early, came in the spring, and so he had a chance to absorb the defensive schemes, and acclimate himself with LSU's defensive play, and it's really paid off as he got a jump start on the freshman class.
As we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Arkansas dashing any hopes for LSU to win the SEC West as they defeated Mississippi State today. The Razorbacks sitting pretty 7-0. That, of course, the Tigers' opponent next week. And Auburn defeating Alabama today. And so that's kind of how things are looking in the SEC West.
And LSU's not out of a hole here yet, as some other games in the SEC.
As you can see, that 28-14 victory by Arkansas. Tennessee a winner. South Carolina, non-conference, big winner. Florida out of conference. And Kentucky slipping past UL Monroe. And there's that Auburn-Alabama game. 3rd and 6 from their own 36. And Adams is smashed by Chase Pittman. The transfer from the University of Texas, playing in his last game in Tiger Stadium, comes up with his 5th sack of the season.
And it was his responsibility was not to allow Seth Adams to get outside. And he comes, look, you see, that's his contain. And Seth Adams knew he was done for. And on a keeper play, and boy, he is one excited Tiger as Glenn Dorsey tries to corral him along with Tyson Jackson and company. But this is another opportunity as LSU has just under 3 minutes to work magic.
And it is Buster Davis standing at his own 35-yard line awaiting the punt from Rob Park. And this one, there's a penalty flag. I think it's going to be running into the kicker against LSU. And that will be a huge, huge penalty. It looks like, was it Curtis Taylor?
And it will hurt the Tigers as now, instead of getting the ball, will give Ole Miss new life.
It'll be an automatic first down by penalty if that's the case.
Les Miles looks a little befuddled.
I think that's been an ongoing
Running
look
into the
tonight.
kicker, 27 of the receiving team. 5-yard penalty, replay 4th down.
So it is only a 5-yarder. It's not an automatic. It will. I thought they was going to give him enough for the first down, but that's true. With the sack, my error is bad. So he was starting to move, and I think that's where it may have caused some confusion, where he just nipped him. But that'll just give Ole Miss just a little better opportunity instead of that. Take Ole Miss. Yes, it's automatic first down in the NFL. It's not in college.
All right.
We were both.
So Davis standing back now at his own 30-yard line and comes up to make the catch at the 40, immediately tackled at the 42-yard line. And that's where the Tigers, with 2:35 remaining, will take over, trailing by 6. We've seen some great fourth quarter drives by the Tigers. Boy, one that comes to mind, how about up in Kentucky? There have been several against Kentucky. I remember in recent years we did a Tiger Vision broadcast, and that was
Michael Clayton.
That's right, Michael Clayton making that grab, the bluegrass miracle.
Well, there's been some here. There's been some here. Arizona
Absolutely.
State and Alabama.
Russell, and he'll tuck it in and run. And across midfield, still on his feet, has the first down to the 44-yard line of the Ole Miss Rebels.
Remember, LSU is down to 1 timeout, so that'll be a factor here as they're going to have to work some magic to stop the clock to move the chains. But every play is going to have to be at least 7 or 8 yards to move that chains quickly. They're at the 43-yard line of Ole Miss.
And under the rule change, of course, the clock starts immediately. The pass from Russell complete. It's Bo, and Bo is up down to the 35-yard line, just about 2 yards shy of the first down. 2 minutes remaining.
You know, Ole Miss is going to drop in that zone coverage, and JaMarkus Russell is going to have to find pockets as the linebackers will also go into drops for the Rebels and take away some underneath stuff as well.
Russell under pressure, and he is dropped. The Tigers will have to use their last timeout right now to stop the clock.
They do.
Jeremy Garrett, the starting nose tackle, getting the start tonight, the junior out of Senatobia, Mississippi, makes the play that forces the Tigers to use their very last time out. So a minute 39 remaining and 41 yards separating the Tigers from the points they need to get into the end zone to tie the Rebels, and then necessary PAT to take the lead.
You know, he's been very mobile. He's picked up a first down just a couple of plays back, and shows he had 71 yards against Tennessee. And this game is reminiscent of the Tennessee game when he took him back and won in the waning seconds of that game. You can see right here, just a big 6'6". He's got to be about 270. Very, very mobile quarterback, so he can kill you with his arms, with his arm or his feet, and that's a dimension you didn't see in JaMarkus Russell in years past.
A strong second half from Russell tonight. He was 5 of 10 in the first half, and not the numbers we've seen from Russell in Tiger Stadium games this year, but he's got a minute 39 to do what he needs to do. We'll see if the Tigers can. 3rd and 8 from the 41. And the Rebels blitzing. Plenty of time for Russell. Pass is complete. First down for the Tigers. Davis runs out of bounds at the 21. That's heads-up football from Buster Davis, who gets the first down and stops the clock.
And you may not pick this up, but Dwayne Bowe with a nice block, allowing early Doucette and JaMarkus Russell with good protection. Brian Johnson and Dykowski with good blocks here. Look at this. Dwayne Bowe fighting with the defensive back, allowing him to get up past the first down. Dwayne Bowe doesn't pull that block right there. Early Doucette does not make the necessary first down yardage.
A gain of 20 on the play. 1st and 10 from the 21 of Ole Miss. And Russell looking poised in the pocket. Pressure from the backside, steps up into the end zone, incomplete. Intended receiver was Dwayne Bowe.
That was a little bit of a high pass again, and we don't know if JaMarkus is just getting a high release. Sometimes a ball will float on you if you release the ball a little bit high, but it might be follow through. He might be rushing it a little bit. Might not be stepping into his throws. It all plays, you know, it has to go hand in hand, and sometimes that'll cause you to let the ball float a little bit.
And you see Russell and his ability to come back. 7 career fourth-quarter comebacks. Bowe makes the grab, does not stop the clock with a minute 17 to go, no timeouts, and the Tigers, time is not on their side.
No, and Dwayne Bowe had some running room, but he fell down, and now you're down to about a minute to go, and JaMarkus will have to call a play quickly at the line of scrimmage. This is going to be a tough situation. 3rd and 6 at the 17-yard line. Touchdown, nothing short of a touchdown will work here.
Russell from the gun. And he's going to run. And he may take it in. No, down to the 6-yard line. They've got to stop the clock with 44 or 46 seconds. It does stop to move the chains, but it will start again under the new rule as soon as the ball is down.
They're going to have to down it here to get some time to call a play. You cannot call plays from the line of scrimmage. They're going to be this important. He's going to have to throw it away and down it quickly. This is pressure.
The clock is rolling. 38, 37.
Something on a slant if he throws it.
Russell under pressure. Off his back foot, throws it out of the back of the end zone.
Well,
and that does stop the clock.
Well, he was looking underneath and looked like Ole Miss had taken away the underneath stuff, and he had no other choice but to go deep wide and throw it up for grabs or throw it out of the end zone, which he did. 27 ticks to go, and now they can collective, you know, have a game plan at this point, because you know, that was kind of haphazard when you got to call plays at the line of scrimmage and getting on the same page, and every play here counts. You're looking at a couple of plays here. LSU is, with no timeouts, going to have to make it work.
From the 6. Russell, plenty of time. Bowe incomplete. Knocked down. Great defensive coverage on the play by Dustin Mouzon. Mouzon out of Orlando, Florida, a sophomore. who gives up about 4 inches to Dwayne Bowe, and comes up with a nice defensive play.
13 of 23, and just again a little high through where maybe Dwayne Bowe could catch it, but excellent play by the defensive back, and now you're down to 21 seconds. 3rd down.
2 plays for LSU to get into the end zone here, and they've got to be passing plays unless Russell, or well, he's the only one in the offensive backfield, has the green light. Pass is through the hands of Jacob Hester.
That's something you don't see very often, and don't know if he'd have made it into the end zone. We'll never know, but he dropped it at the 2-yard line, and at least they would have brought it closer and would have given him more options. And this is the game right here.
This is it, the play of the game coming up. And Hester right through his hands, and you can see him come back to the huddle with his head hung low. He knew he should have made that grab.
31 catches, but he dropped a big one, and Rory Johnson was in hot pursuit. We'll never know if Jacob Hester would have got into the end zone, and you got to think that early Doucette or Dwayne Bowe would be the first options here.
Here's the ball game. Caught in the end zone, Dwayne Bowe! Unbelievable! Not only does Dwayne Bowe make the touchdown grab, but he and JaMarkus Russell become the most prolific touchdown tandem in LSU history with their 22nd career connection. And how about that, Dwayne Bowe?
Boy, the pro scouts can't wait to get a hold of that guy. That's Terrell Owens and Michael Clayton. And here's JaMarkus, and he knows who he's going to. Looks away, checks right back, and a slant pattern is impossible for Tremaine McBride. It's just a good route by Dwayne Bowe, and great size, 6'3", 220. Great hands, and no catch bigger than that just one he just caught, his last one at Tiger Stadium.
How is that for a way to go out as a senior in Tiger Stadium? But there's still a PAT that needs to be done. And the most reliable, Colt David, who has connected on 77 straight PATs, is on to try to get the points that'll break this 20-20 deadlock. The sophomore, former walk-on out of Grapevine, Texas, Colt David. It is blocked! It is blocked! Unbelievable! And what a celebration on the Ole Miss sideline. Colt David had connected on 77 consecutive PATs, but not this one, and we are tied at 20 with 14 seconds remaining.
Well, overtime is a definite unless LSU, well, they're going to certainly squib it and not kick it to Marche Green. But there was great penetration coming through as they poured through the A gap right in the middle between the guard and centers and of LSU and Ole Miss. Great penetration, look, coming right through the middle.
John Jerry,
a huge 6'6", 340-pounder, came through unblocked or just broke through, split the double team. And boy, I tell you, that was a tremendous block. A great play by Ole Miss offensive lineman. May have saved the day for the Rebels, and they will live to fight another day. You know, if nothing happens on this kickoff, we will be going to overtime.
John Jerry, a true freshman. Watch him just bust right through the middle here and get his hand on this Colt David PAT.
And Jerry is just, again, a 6'6", 340-pounder. You won't see anybody pick him up in celebration, but and keep in mind, he's just a freshman, but he will be a great player before he leaves here. He is a real big freshman, you know.
Well, definitely the biggest play thus far in his young Ole Miss career. And now the Tigers have to kick off to a team that's had such incredible special team success here tonight. And they certainly need to keep it out of the hands of Marshay Green as he and Miko McSwain leave to return on this kickoff. 14 seconds remaining. We're tied at 20 and apparently heading for overtime.
What a roller coaster ride has been for not only the players but the fans and everyone watching at home. Wow, what an exciting game, and we'll see what kind of finish we have.
Chris Jackson, the kickoff is taken at the 7-yard line. And that is McSwain. And that will leave Ole Miss with 6 seconds to run one last play here before time expires in the fourth quarter.
You know, JaMarkus Russell comes in with a major play and a touchdown toss to Dwayne Bowe, and it's a shame that LSU just couldn't finish it with the extra point. But Ole Miss comes up with the play. They've come up with some big plays, and LSU, Ole Miss would not go away. They've led throughout most of the game, actually, and have taken it right to LSU in their home field. And give credit to Ole Miss, both offensively and defensively, have played a very, very good game. Game plan was well conceived, and LSU with a tie.
With the exception of last year's game, which was a blowout by LSU. I don't know if you realize, Renee, that the 3 previous games were decided by 7 points, a total of 7 points. We'll be back after we take this network break.
Framed for a murder he didn't commit. Detective Brett Harper will relive the worst day of his life.
You gotta be kidding, right?
Like it was his last day on Earth.
These past 3 days, I've woken up and it's the same day. I don't understand. It's the same time, it's the same place. The day is the same, but different things happen. You believe in second chances?
Taye Diggs. Daybreak. 2-hour series premiere Wednesday, 9/8 Central, only on ABC.
Honey, which color do you like better, the white or the ivory?
Well,
Oh,
counters.
look, this one comes with a crumb tray.
Riveting stuff, isn't it? Which one will she go for? Yeah, this is far more suspenseful than us analyzing 2 powerhouses colliding in Austin. Isn't that right, guys? Man, I hope she goes for the crumb tray.
ESPN College Game Day, built by the Home Depot, now starting at 10 a.m. Eastern on Saturdays.
How big will you go? Introducing the new X Games inspired Moto X bike. Built for performance, 20-inch BMX dual suspension, front and rear disc brakes, and Moto X styled saddle and fenders. The X Games Moto X bike. Ride Moto X style.
We got ourselves a ball game in Baton Rouge as we head to overtime. Down at midfield, as JaMarkus Russell has had an exceptional second half to bring the Tigers back from the deficit they faced. But this is the first time LSU trailing at home this season, and this is the storyline. Ole Miss's special teams and some trickery has kept them in this game. LSU won the toss, and if I heard him right, elected to play defense. Is that correct?
Yes.
Renee?
Yes, so they'll react to whatever Ole Miss's offense does. So we'll see. This separates the men from the boys, if you will, and LSU has been pretty successful in overtime games.
Tell me.
Yeah, Tennessee, and you know, they've always been, I should say always, I don't know what the percentage is, but they've had some big wins in overtime. And I remember Tennessee just a few years ago here when Rohan Davey hit Robert Royal in the overtime.
And here are the overtime rules. As you can see, a coin toss for the choice of offense, defense. The Tigers have elected for defense. There's no game clock, just a play clock only. Ball spotted at the 25. And guess who's back at quarterback? That is Green Ellis on the carry, but it is Schaefer back at quarterback for the Rebels of Ole Miss. Did not see him in the second half.
And credit Seth Adams for bringing Ole Miss back and, you know, doing a good job as a field general. 2nd and 5 as Schaefer. Now he gives you that element of you know, you need to know where he is. He'll hit the perimeter, and he becomes a running back, very flashy, and he didn't burn the Tigers thus far, but he's capable of big plays as he hits the corner.
Green Ellis approaching the century mark on the ground after a gain of 4. Schaefer and trying to tuck it in and make a run for it down to the 20-yard line.
Just what we just said. Schaefer is capable of hitting the perimeter, and just that's what he did. It's like we were looking into the huddle. Schaefer is good speed and maneuverability. He's a 6'2", 195-pounder out of Deerfield, Florida, and they say he's been clocked under 4'6", so he certainly has the speed to get by you.
Maybe we can explain the strategy here. You look at a guy like Seth Adams, who comes in and does an admirable job in the second half. Schaefer got some points in the first half, but certainly Ole Miss had some momentum. 3rd and 5. Schaefer under pressure, a fumble on the play, and the Tigers have the football. How about that? Coming up with the play on defense, Daniel Francis, the senior out of Port Barre High School, comes up with a huge play defensively here in this overtime.
Well, Bo Pelini called a blitz, and boy, he couldn't have picked a better time. You know, it looks like LSU is a little more selective with their blitz packages. As you can see, Daniel Francis comes up, and Schaefer thought he got away, but Tyson Jackson jumps on it just to be on the safe side. But outstanding effort. Daniel Francis, a senior, really great job, and that's his 2nd sack of the game.
And now it is the Tigers' game to win here in overtime. Ed Orgeron trying to pull off the biggest win of his coaching career at Ole Miss in his 2nd season. Hester is the lone back, Russell under center. And it's Hester. And Hester rambles up for a gain of about 8 down to the 18-yard line. And here's the last drive for the Tigers. Davis with a nice grab, dances out of bounds to stop the clock.
With Dwayne Bowe with that block, and you see how important that was as JaMarkus becomes a foot soldier right here. And here's the big play to Dwayne Bowe to tie the score and also break the record for the best combination touchdown tossing and catching in LSU history.
2nd and 4. Hester has the first down for the Tigers. And Hester, who was not heard from in the first half, has had some key runs here in the second half, despite one pass that looked at the time as though it was the piece of the puzzle the Tigers needed here. They're on that last drive, but they overcame that, and Hester's done a great job for the Tigers on the ground.
Sean Jordan at fullback. You haven't seen a fullback with the Tigers this game. Doug Blanchard, a tight end senior, also at a tight end.
Hester 8 carries for 35 yards, and give him 5 more. Hester, the Tigers' leading rusher. That puts him over 400 for the season.
And look at this. This is just a zone running play. Sean Jordan with a good block, seal block right there on Marcus Tillman, number 92, allows an extra couple of yards by Jacob Hester. And this is just outstanding runner by the former Evangel star.
2nd and 6 from the 10-yard line. And Hester again, maybe gets one.
Patrick Willis.
And Patrick Willis, the heartbeat of this Ole Miss defense, there to make the tackle.
And he's smart. You know, Patrick Willis, that's why he's going to be so valuable at the next level, because he sees things before they happen, anticipates, and boy, he brings it. He hits you like you can hear the wood crack when he fills, and he did a good job of stopping Jacob Hester in his tracks. 3rd down here. You know, after what's happened last time, you hope LSU doesn't have to go for a field goal to salt it away, but 3rd and 5.
Willis, a finalist for the Butkus Award, the first ever from the state of Mississippi. And Hester trying to dance to the outside, tripped up at the 10-yard line, and that brings up 4th down now. And on, I have to think, comes the field goal unit.
Well, you're going to know where I guarantee they know where John Jerry is this time. You can't miss him. Number 77, who blocked the extra point, which put this into overtime. So Colt David will be trying another one, and this will be for the win.
The game winner on the line for Colt David. And looks like Ole Miss calls the timeout.
Performance by enabling seamless, secure global collaboration. How's that for a catchphrase? That's dynamic networking from the new AT&T. Your world delivered.
We've been married a year.
You see David's numbers, 4 of 8 this season, that including the 44-yarder he missed earlier in this ball game. And of course there was the blocked PAT. So now with the game on the line, Colt David marches out.
Same way that LSU, Ole Miss lost to Alabama with a field goal kick in overtime. And you know, history repeats itself, maybe, if Colt David can come through again. So Ole Miss has been down this path before.
JaMarkus Russell looking on. And winks at the camera, fully confident in his kicker. And this one will be a 26-yard kick. And it is up, and it's good. Last home game in Tiger Stadium this season, and it's a sophomore who provides the winning points.
What a lonely life of a kicker, huh?
And all I have to say tonight is, wow, that is one happy sophomore. Made a lot of seniors happy tonight, didn't he?
Oh, I tell you what, made a lot of fans happy, both here in person and watching on the set. And LSU fans going to miss that guy. What a quality act Justin Vincent, number 25, has been. Both an ambassador of LSU.
And the Tigers, seniors, walking off the field in Tiger Stadium for the very last time in their careers. And we will take a network break here on Tiger Vision. LSU pulling off a 3-point win. Back with more Tiger Vision after this break. That tells the story. LSU overcoming a 13-point second half deficit. Colt David providing the winning points here in overtime as the 9th-ranked Tigers hold on to defeat the Rebels of Ole Miss. Renee, what a dramatic game this was. It looked like Ole Miss had this thing in the bag. And, boy, you just can't ask for more drama, can you, in one ball game?
Well, you know, there's four parts of the win tonight. Offense, defense, special teams, and the fan factor. And the fan factor played a major role disrupting Ole Miss's offense in the waning seconds of the game. And I tell you what, this Ole Miss owned the first half, but LSU came storming back.
Look at the fourth quarter yards, just 14 for the Rebels of Ole Miss compared to LSU's 116. The field position was so huge, but as the game went on, it slanted a little bit more toward LSU. Tiger seniors walking off the field for the very last time here in Tiger Stadium. And you know, there are going to be some tears and a lot of emotion, but it certainly is more favorable to do it after a victory, even if it was the huge struggle that it was tonight.
And this was certainly a wake-up call to the fans and players, and they'll have a big one on their hands next week in Arkansas. See if they can finish up the season big and move on to a nice bowl game if they do, in fact, are successful against Arkansas. 22 seniors will not be back in Tiger Stadium, and you may see three juniors who have major decisions. JaMarkus Russell, Glenn Dorsey, and don't rule out early Doucette, giving some serious thought to maybe looking at the NFL draft. But that's three juniors that will have to make some major decisions at season's end.
Yes, they do. But for tonight, it is a sweet, sweet victory. On behalf of our producer, Doug Tutt, my broadcast partner, Renee Nadeau, I'm Doug Greengard saying thank you for watching this Tiger Vision broadcast as the 9th-ranked LSU Tigers hold on to overcome the Ole Miss Rebels. So long, everyone.